Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank, all right? I'm joined by the 20-time champion, the 2-time world champion, a legend to the Call of Duty scene, Patrick Pryke, a.k.a. Aches, and we're also joined by another world champion on the other side, multiple champions, stable to the Call of Duty scene. You guys know the vibe, man, okay? It's Parasite and it's fucking Aches, all right? How you guys doing today, man? You guys doing good? We watched together all day today. Me, you, us three, and Clay. We were chilling at the TeamSpeak all day watching some matches. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Other than the fact that everyone in the chat's like, Aches green screen is so ass. Chat, do you think I have the ability to just flash a screen? There's no green screen.
Oh, okay. How you doing that? How you doing that?
Discord.
You could do that on Discord. I didn't even know you could do that.
Discord, yeah.
What the heck? That's actually kind of crazy. I thought you had like a screen, or I thought you were doing something. I didn't know what the heck you were doing, but that's pretty cool.
Discord.
What about you? Oh, we also got a special guest, Asem, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Asem. Asem, how you doing?
Guys?
What's going on, Asem?
Doing
We
good,
love
you know?
Asem. We love Asem.
We do.
Had a
Big
tough
Asem's in the
weekend.
chat.
0-2, got shit on, but it's okay. There's next weekend.
Yeah, you just got to bounce back now.
2 weekends though now.
Yeah, you've had a
Listen,
you've had a
that doesn't
couple
count,
you have
alright?
you had a couple rough weekends. No, it counts. They all count.
No,
He's been a couple rough weeks.
It doesn't count, no.
Hey, listen, it's one of those things where you guys won a major championship, and now you guys are in a slump, and you guys aren't playing well, and you guys got to dig yourself out of it. You know, back to the drawing board, back to
Facts.
practice, and you come back and you try and make a name next weekend. You know, and
That's facts. It's always next
that's
weekend.
all it is, man. We had some good matches today, man. You know, a lot of amazing matches, 3 matches today. And we're going to get into it, and we're going to break them down and give our thoughts and do what we got to do, man. So let's hop right in and get right into it, man. We're kicking things off. We got the Paris Legion going up against the Seattle Surge in the Blow It Up Bowl. We got Bocage Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D, Berlin Control, Tuscan Hardpoint, Berlin S&D. Gentlemen, any thoughts on the vetoes? This series was a headache, to say the least. This series was a headache.
Yeah, I think
All
this.
I gotta say is that nobody should be playing Seattle and Berlin Control.
Is that like their thing? Is that like their fucking
I
map
think
or
that's
something?
they dominate that shit right now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really
Interesting.
good at it. They've played really well on it the last 2 times they played it. But either way, I mean, maps were honestly pretty expected. I think these guys were gonna have a scrappy series no matter which way you put it. So
Yeah.
that's what we got.
Urge and dominate. That's not a word I'm used to. I'm used to hearing.
What?
It's only on one specific map and mode, Pat. Listen,
Okay.
you don't have to
That's
argue
just
me on
Pred's
that,
playground, bro. Pred's playground.
Listen, you can't gas Surge around Patty
I know.
P.
I know.
Asem. You can't.
I have to like keep. Yeah, I gotta watch my words.
Pat, he don't like the gas to Surge.
He don't like the surge. He don't like
La,
the surge.
la.
I know.
And we're gonna talk about it, man. We start things off on a Bocage Hardpoint. Honestly, a pretty back and forth map. It's a Bocage, very mixy stuff. I'm gonna bring you guys to a couple hills towards the end, but one thing I wanted to know is just the comms again for the Paris Legion. Just seemed frustrated. It just seemed like it was Donnie again, just getting frustrated in the comms, and we're gonna tune into the listening and get your thoughts. But like, what do you think is going on with these guys? What do you think is happening here, Pat? Chris?
People are just getting smoked, and Donnie is playing really good. Like he's clearly frustrated, man. Like,
Is it getting smoked
he
or
has been
people
for a
not
while.
listening? Or is it people not listening, or is it
I
people
mean,
getting smoked?
It's both. People have got Bocage brain, except that it fucking is on every single map, not just Bocage. It's been pretty apparent that this Paris team struggles with just making good decisions in game, because there are times where some of these players do end up playing well statistically, and then there's other times where they can't make a decision correctly, and they're also getting fried, and it's putting them in bad positions. And the only consistent factor we have on this Paris roster is Temp. This guy absolutely carried this series for the L.
Yeah, and this was a comeback from Seattle, this first map as well. Seattle was able to bring this one back. But go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, and I also think it's like one of those things, right? Like I think Don is getting to that point now where he realizes he's not getting anybody else on this team, right? They're not going to make some blockbuster move that's going to make them any better. And he's kind of realizing that this is like almost getting to the point where it's going to be a wasted year for him. This is probably one of his best CODs in definitely a few years now. And yeah, I think frustration's setting in. We mentioned it yesterday, and I think it's gonna continue to pile on. Like I don't see them winning games. I think they can play teams close, but
Yeah.
I think this is just kind of the start of the downfall for them.
Yeah, it's been like a roller coaster for this team. I just feel like you know, sometimes they show signs of life, but I mean, today was just not it. It hasn't been it for them. Let's tune into the listening. Let's listen in here. The guys are comment from the Paris Legion.
Gate.
Lamar back, Lamar in the back. And one's tools on one shot.
I didn't hit him on hill, he could be main. I don't see him top Manny.
Get in chow house.
He's still tools.
We gotta get this guy out the time. Bottom house dead.
Nice.
I don't see him top
Bottom
barn.
main, bottom main, bottom main.
Top barn
Main again, Sid.
top barn after that. And Z. Top barn and Z. Okay.
Mars
take our
gonna
time.
be holding right.
Listen, you can use your shit. I'm going left. You guys go
Use the
right.
street.
No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Give me a
Wait
tool.
till-
Top main. Top main.
Top main weak. Top main weak.
Top
Still
main.
there.
He ran. I'm not using it yet.
Yeah, what's top
Stone
gate?
is.
He's still top main. I'm gonna push
Save one
out.
shot.
for Pred.
Save one shot hut.
I go two.
A plat. Pred, one shot. A plat. Someone get him.
Dead.
What's top barn? What's top barn, by the way? Top barn.
Top barn.
Top barn. Mac hurt.
There's one guy hit.
One coop. One. He's challenging out
I
of
think top
the
barn.
barrels.
I hit the back. I hit the back.
Still
Coming
coop
out.
on you. Still coop. Coop
Right,
dead.
he's challenging out of
They're gonna
barrels.
spawn A
Barn
plat.
weak. Barn weak.
I'm gliding, bros.
He's barn somewhere. Okay.
One's A plat. Two big door. They're just gonna fly in hill.
Mac still barn somewhere.
Mac hurt. Mac's still in bottom barn.
He saw one shot. He's on his
Hey, bro, Donnie just said, I'm using the glide, fuck it. Maybe threw a little sigh in there. Seems like just, I don't know, like frustrated, right? Like, it just seems like they're losing composure.
He seems like he's checked out. Like,
Yeah.
and the map is literally not even halfway done when he was, or when he was like, they started listening. It's bad, and you could see a lot of his frustrations are pretty warranted. There's a lot of times where I feel like this map, specifically, you'll see it at the end with the P1 hill. The team is in a good spot where they're rotated, but then they end up getting flipped right as the hill pops, and they're just throwing away setups. This match, up until the end of the match, it felt like no one wanted to win. Even Seattle was making mistakes, which is why it was close to a point until Seattle ended up pulling
Even the
away at the
casters
end.
were talking about it, Chris. Just a really sloppy map from both teams. Let's tune into the Seattle Surge listening and see how these boys are coming. Let's tune in.
That's one tunnel.
I'm about to go far. I'm about to go far.
Could be on you.
Look at pass. Look at pass.
Heard you.
I'm gonna fight. Oh yeah, I'm on P5.
He's top house. Jumped out. Back window.
Front door.
Front door.
Front door, Donnie. Donnie's front door. Heard you. I can bump you up top. They can get
Water tank. Come grab
Two front door. They're both weak. One
Low camo. To shoot you in the camo.
Two side time. Low camo as well. I'm staying in the.
Low camo dead. Back house. One shot. Two.
Okay, play my back door.
Seattle boys had a short listening. They didn't give him much time there. Gave him like a 10-second listening, but a little frantic. You know, a lot of energy. I feel like came from the Seattle camp, but it definitely sounded a little bit hectic to me. I don't know about you
it's
guys,
Bokic.
but
It's gonna sound like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Toronto can sound calm on this map. I'd be surprised. But I mean, you can just tell the difference in the calm, the difference in the energy levels. You didn't even need to look to see who was probably winning the map, but it was close at a point. I think Donnie was frying.
No,
He
it was
frying.
so Donnie kicked up. I mean, he's 33-16 right now on your screen, and this is kind of where Paris kind of took over a little bit. Like the second P4 and P5 is kind of where Paris built their lead a bit. They used their streaks to break onto this hill, and I'm pretty sure they got the scrap here. But then Seattle just kind of tee up. After the P5 here, Paris had built themselves a little bit of a lead, and this is a pretty good lead for Bokic Hardpoint going into the final moments of the map. And then this is where Seattle just kind of pinned Paris and just turned up into a whole nother gear. It started with this P1, and the amount of time that Seattle was able to hold on this P1 was pretty impressive. Because Asim, you're a player, right? It's not easy, man, to hold a lot of time on P1. I feel like it's a lot of scrap time. You get a few seconds here, a few seconds there, but to actually lock down solid time like this is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I think P1 is the hardest hill to hold on any map in Vanguard, but I think Seattle has always been a really good team at Bokic, especially the P1s, because Lamar and Dante do a really good job of like interchanging where they play. So like usually one of them will be field side, and the other one will be on the gate, like looking over the time. So I think that's something that they've been really, really good about all year long.
No, and then you could kind of see here, like after they hold so much time on a P1, they bring the game all the way back from the P1 hill. They haven't gotten off this hill for about 40, 50 seconds. And then you could just see Seattle, once Paris get those back left river spawns, Seattle just hits up the right side of the map as a unit. And with those squad spawns coming in, they're going to flip Paris out and they're going to get the good spawns. And that's how Seattle was just kind of able to clear this map out and kind of win the map. Pred started making good plays. He was pushing out, going rogue. He's been kicking up, by the way. This guy Pred, the last few series, he's been playing great, man. Mr. AG, he's doing his thing, man. I think Dante and Pred had one of those series, huh, Pat? You're always saying when these guys fry, they win.
They both went plus 20.
And they're definitely, it's good plays coming in from them.
But I would say, and before we kind of gas it, because it definitely is, they did step up. The scary thing is they both fried, but like they barely beat Paris.
And Paris is also probably not the best team right now.
Right, yeah. So to me, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But I mean, Lamar did play pretty poorly the first few maps. I know he stepped up in the end of the series.
He super stepped it up at the end of the series. He played great last
especially
match.
Well, I do think that Paris has been looking a little bit better than before.
Yeah, they have, but I mean, still, like Donnie is literally, bro. Don's having 1.5s in the series, and like,
Yeah, Donnie's playing really well lately.
and they're losing this way. So I think that adds on to Don's, individual frustration because he's getting to the point where he's like, what the fuck else do I gotta do?
Yeah,
Especially when
yeah.
like the other team's main is getting torched like in some of these maps, and like I don't know, he's probably just getting to that point.
Honestly, man, I know we're talking about, we want to talk about Seattle and how they're playing better, or not playing better, but like how like Pred stepped up, etc. Lamar stepped up at some point during the match. Sid played well. But to me, this series isn't even a series about Seattle. Yeah, Seattle was a part of it, but this series is all about Paris. You can see the Paris struggles from the beginning of the series get worse and worse after the S&D. The S&D was it was a bailout by Temp. I think Temp was making plays. Tom had some good rounds here and there, but Temp bailed them just fuck out, bro, with that sniper. I think he changed the whole dynamic of how Seattle wanted to play. It basically changed the tides, but after that S&D, bro, it was just downhill for Paris, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And like I said, this series isn't about Seattle. This series is all just how Paris woes, because some of the stuff that was happening this entire match was quite frankly embarrassing to watch. It made me sick to my fucking stomach.
Damn. You're making Chris Paris like sick to his stomach.
It was bad.
I mean, listen, yeah, and especially when we get into the next couple of respawns, the Berlin control. I mean, there were just some plays where I was just left confused. I didn't know what the thought process was. I didn't know what they were trying to do. And, it goes back to the listening and how they seem frustrated. It seems like they're just kind of going through the motions. I can see why they're making mistakes like this or not playing the game the right way. And Haggy, I think you made a good point. This S&D Donnie really kicked out with the sniper rifle, which I thought was interesting. Donnie doesn't really snipe that often, does he? He hasn't sniped that often, Donnie.
In S&D, he does. He has more often. I think Donnie is definitely one of those people where if he's feeling something, he does it, and rightfully so, because he's fucking disgusting. But dude, it changed the way that Seattle wanted to play this map. Like, he was sniping this A side and middle the entire time. Yeah. And guess what? Seattle started doing? They started trying to go B.
Yeah,
or like sitting back and playing slow because they couldn't deal with it. They could not fuck with this guy's sniper, and it changed the whole dynamic of the map. And it basically just it stumped Seattle. This entire map.
Like,
look at this.
He was hitting shots. Shots, bro.
I'm getting breaking news.
Oh no,
from Mr. Easy Mac.
What happened?
Aches is now leading in the Major 3 predictions.
Oh, I'm definitely in last place in the Major 3 predictions.
I don't even care about my.
I'd be throwing shit out.
They don't give a fuck.
I don't want to hear these excuses.
They don't give a fuck.
Basically, what we're trying to say is we don't give a flying fuck.
Excuses going around.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. This might be the hardest game to predict who's gonna win. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes you look at teams and you're like, okay, you know who's gonna win. But I mean, in this game, bro, it's a toss-up. We've had 4 different winners in 4 different events, and we know that anybody can come out at any given day. And I think that's the game. And I also just think that's the talent in the league that in any given day, some of these teams could just kick up and have a good day.
I'm just a big fan of the underdog, bro. That's all it is for me. I love to pick the people that I don't think should win, but fuck it, pick them anyways.
Yep.
Gotta show some support somewhere.
Seattle was able to get around on the board. It started the first couple of rounds. It was just Donnie sniping and finding picks. He was just doing a good job. I felt like he was definitely changing, like you said, Chris. It was changing the way Seattle was playing. They were just staying down. They weren't peeking anything. Then in this round, a 2-1 round, I like the aggression from Paris. One thing I really like about Paris here is they're just sticking together. They're holding each other's hands. They're all moving as a unit. Nobody's making a solo play. Nobody's trying to do anything stupid. They're able to win some rounds like that. So just sticking together, playing your trades, and that's
they were Black Ops 4ing around the map.
Yeah, and that was cool to see because a lot of teams don't even do that. And seeing stuff like that was good. Then we get into the 3-1 round. Paris was able to win this one as well. Seattle are trying to break ankles here. You could kind of see them with the bomb, right? A lot of teams been doing this. They'll show at one site, and then once they kind of make noise and show information, they'll get a kill, work some trades, and then they'll back it up and try and work the other side. You can see the full wrap coming in. And you could kind of see those orange arrows, right, from Paris kind of dipping back towards B. So it did work for Paris here, or for Seattle. But they weren't able to clutch up here, man. They weren't able to clutch up. Seattle try and get this bomb down, but it was John who makes the initial play. Tom Gravity from Top Fire makes a play. And then John, he's going to make a play towards you. He's going to shoot this guy off the bomb here. And then after that, Paris, they go up 4-1. Seattle was able to win a couple, like 1 or 2 rounds after this. But this was a pretty comfortable map for Paris. I think we can all agree that Paris just comfortably won it. So good job to them, man. We could take a look at the final score. and see, who was popping off, who was doing their thing. Look at the scoreboard, 11-4 from Donnie. I mean, again, Temp just doing what he does.
Can do no wrong.
Listen, I feel
he
like
can't.
Jimbo needs to go to one of his teammates' house, bro, because I feel like he's getting hoed in Montreal or wherever.
You think that's a factor? You think the online stuff
listen,
is
bro,
a factor?
I really do think it's a factor because because what I've heard is that he's pinging way higher than the rest of the lobby. So it's like he's got one of the hardest roles. So
But my
it's like,
thing
you know what I
is,
mean?
he turned it around though. Like before the pro, like the last.
Yeah, but the
one, he
pro
had a
one was
couple
LAN,
good-
though.
No. I'm saying before that, he had a couple
Oh.
couple good online matches. Not a lot, but a couple. Like he turned it around late. So I don't know.
I don't know. I
mean,
just feel like if he's if he's having a 0.5 series, like I do think that ping is like it's not like the biggest factor, or I don't think it's like the main factor, but I think it does play a part.
Okay,
You're
now
getting hoed by ping.
I want to go into the Berlin control a little bit. I definitely think Ping could definitely hoe you, Asim, for sure. Like 100%. He should move, Asim. Why doesn't he fucking get out
Hey,
of
he's
there?
gotta go to Tom's house or Donnie's house or
Yeah,
somebody's
just get
house,
out of there, bro. Just
get out of there for a little bit.
Bro, the fact that we're in every team has to pay $25 million. We're in a multi-million-dollar fucking league, bro. These players should be able to go wherever they want to go if they have to.
yeah,
if
but
somebody
Paris
needs to.
Legion is the one team
Listen,
that
man,
cannot
Paris
make
is the
that.
one
True.
team
He's
that you
having
can't use
he's
that
having
excuse for.
issues, but I was gonna say like this isn't on him, bro. This is on Paris. Like, what the fuck are you doing to your players, bro? Do you even care?
Herb said he can't move with 50K, but I mean, Herb, to be honest, the Paris should be helping him. Paris should be getting him a place, or like you said, Asim, maybe a teammate can help him out, or something. I don't know. The teammates are not inviting him over, But let's bro. I want to get you
I
guys'
would lose
opinions on
full
this.
If I'm on the team in a $25 million league where I have to fly my player out and like put him in somewhere to stay and play because my org won't. When it's a franchise league, I would lose full.
Yeah, it's bad. It's Paracels, man.
Man.
We don't need to talk about it. We already know, about the organization and how like limited and how they just don't put any effort into
Let's
the
use
league.
basic.
Oh,
Yeah, they don't put any effort
Donnie
into
hit
the
us
league.
with the LOL in the chat. He hit us
They
with the
don't put
LOL.
any effort into the league, bro. Like they hold the spot, have some players, pay the minimum, and literally just hope for the best. Okay.
Yeah, let's get into the Berlin control. What was Tom doing here? Look at number one. Look at number one on the minimap.
Okay,
And
let
I'm
me
just
see.
gonna let it play out. Look at number one on the minimap. Watch how Seattle's just making plays on the point, and watch Tom just chilling. They're just chilling. They're stacking a point. They're literally stacking point right now. That shit's moving up at the speed of light. Then he goes to make his move when they're already 2 ticks in.
There's worse.
2.5 ticks in.
There's worse, Tom. Remember how I was preaching how like just give up fire and like go help your teammates? There was times where players that were killed off spawn would spawn on the platform, right? Where Paris is currently. And the rest of the Paris team is pushed up towards, the train station, how I talked about. And instead of going and grouping up with their teammates and playing around them and forcing, Seattle to come around the back, they kept running into fire and dying by themselves, mind you.
Yeah.
When they should have known that they were flanking. And on top of that, Seattle, I can't remember the exact round. See, this is why I wish I actually did write notes. But there was a lot of times where Paris would like not react, kind of how like what Tom is doing, right?
Yeah.
They'd have train station pushed out, but no one's coming there. Why can you start adjusting and being ready to like prepare for the pressure?
Yeah, nobody's coming there. And then at the same time, right, Donnie just got a kill. Lamar's coming off spawn. He's coming off spawn behind you. He just completely forgot about the guy coming off spawn. And you also got to know with the point just moving up that fast. I mean, you got to make a play. You have to do something because they're about to cap the point. There's a guy coming off spawn, and then he tries to go outer, which I don't know where his plan was going outer because they're about to cap the point. So going outer, I don't know. He should have just hit right up the hall and just hit the hill, like try and get in there or something. Just make a play. Just please try and do something because the rest of his team are getting pinned back. And then the caster said Tom is sitting there waiting for his teammates to make a play. And I'm sitting there like his teammates are getting spawn killed. They're in the base, I don't know what the casters were talking about there. But Tom tries to make a play too late. He gets caught up by Lamar. He doesn't turn around. And because Seattle's stacking the point, they win the first offense right away. Bada bing, bada boom. Seattle, they go up 1-0 on Berlin control. And then after the fact, I'm pretty sure they win the defense. They go up 2-0. So Seattle, they won the control 3-0, actually. They won 2 offenses in a row. And we're going to go to the last offense where, Seattle was able to clutch up and kind of see how it all happened and unfolded again. But, Pat, what are your thoughts about all this? You seeing this? Do you think that's a little fugazi coming out of Paris? I feel like they don't know what they're doing.
I think it's a little fugazi, but hey, Asim warned us when we got in here. He straight up said it. He said Seattle were just dominant at this map. So I mean, you gotta think, could they just have avoided this entirely and just not played this map if they're gonna make
Maybe
these?
Well, that goes back to the vetoes at that point. And also, Tom's been playing great for Paris. I feel like Tom and Donnie have definitely been the two that have been outshining. It was just a bad play right there.
So I actually want to know an example of this, Tom, because I actually pulled up the VOD myself to find it. If you go to about 43 minutes into the match.
Yep.
On that, right, and then play from
43 minutes.
Yeah, 43 minutes. Oh, not 43 minutes. Fuck, I'm on the I'm on like the individual VOD with like the match. I'm gonna put it.
I'm like, dude, what are you
I'll put
talking
it
about?
in teams. Fuck, dude, I don't know what time this is in the match.
What round is it? What round? Yeah, the round.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
Round and time limit.
0-0, 30 seconds left.
Oh,
on the
0-0.
clock.
Okay, we're going all the
0-0,
way
30
back.
seconds left on the clock.
Let's
A
check
is
it
still
out.
up.
Let's check it
A
out.
is still up. A is still up.
All right, I'm gonna go back.
0-0, A is still
No
up.
problem.
This is just an example of it.
A is still up. You said what's the time limit
A
at
is
the
still
top?
up. 30 seconds.
Okay, let's do it. Let's check
And
it
the
out.
clock is frozen. Number
Okay,
2 just
I'm
spawned
here.
in the back of the point. So
Talk
if you
to me.
play it, right, these guys spawn up and they're going to like reinforce A when their teammates have train control here. So number 2 dies. Number 1 just keeps going. And number 1 is doing the right play, right? He comes over here and he gets control of the platform. He gets the free kill. Look at number 2 and number 4. Number 2 and number 4, they need to shock A, right? Start going to B. Instead, number 2, look at what number 2's doing.
He's like sitting dots. You're saying?
No,
You don't-
wait, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at 0-0, 30 seconds. That's what I'm looking
Okay,
at.
this is impossible.
You want me to rewind it?
Haggy, the live
The
count.
live count, yeah, that's even
What's the
better.
what's the live count?
24, 20. Listen, bro, this is hard to do. 24 and 17 is the live count, and it's a couple seconds before
Chris,
that.
just
We're
to let you
watching the
know,
same thing, baby.
because
Yeah,
Chris,
What the
Chris,
fuck?
just to let you know, okay, because this is
I wish I
already
could show
stuffed. Just to
screen.
let you know, just pull up the main stream. You could just give me a timestamp and just keep. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know. I thought this was the main stream.
Nah, you don't
man.
got the mainstream, Chris. You're off papaya. What kind of
sorry.
papaya you smoking over there?
I'm sorry, man. This is my first time doing this.
Yo,
See, Chris,
is
it
not
ain't easy.
producer
Hey,
wave.
Chris, it ain't easy controlling a VOD and finding
It's
the
not.
timestamps.
It's not.
You know?
I've lost composure, man.
No, you're good, bro. We got all day, man. There's no rush. What's up, Simp? We got Simp in the chat, man. We got.
I honestly just give up.
Okay, no problem.
Chalk it up.
Wait,
chalk it up, bro,
actually, you're
chalk
at
it
the
up.
right spot. You're at the right spot, Tom, watching the VOD. So number
Okay.
2
Just
should
watch
not
this
be.
back.
No, well, basically, number 2 should not be in fire, is what I'm telling you. Number 2 should have bonded and grouped up his team. He's going to hit this point by himself, basically, right? When they have train control. Now look at Train. Right?
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at number
Train's
6. He
wide
almost makes the
open.
play.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they should have all been there. Instead, they hit the scrap. Look at this. Look at this. Now they make the play, right? And they almost basically make the play to win the map right here. And it gets scrappier. But like they kept doing this, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Is they kept flooding into fire when they could just be flooding through the train station. Look at number 2 again.
This is what
Look
we
at
were
he
talking
does.
about yesterday. I mean, this is what we were talking about
Why
yesterday.
the fuck? Just bro, go with your team.
Yeah.
This is so fucking unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it almost bites you in the ass. Number 3 should have gave it up too. Number 3 was Train, right? Where number 6 is right now. And if he would have stayed there, he would have killed number 6. Look at the play number 6 does in this. He almost makes the play for them to win the fucking round right here.
Yeah, and,
Right,
and
he gets to the point,
number 2 even
drags
got bad
everyone
timing.
back.
You know, number 2 got
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
timing.
yeah.
He let number 8 get by because of
But
a
you get
shitty
the
timing.
point. Like he shouldn't even have been over there. Like he should have just been grouped up with his team and avoided the timing all like together.
Yeah, we were talking about it during the watch party, how pushing up Train. I mean, Clay was talking about it a little bit. We talked about it yesterday when we were talking about this map.
Look, he's
but-
doing it again. They're going to do it again.
Oh,
Look at this.
real quick, because obviously Paris is doing it.
You'll see in a minute.
Since we have the opportunity, we have Simp, who, as everyone knows, is on the #1 team in the game phase. Simp, what are your thoughts? Do you think people should give up fire on defense on Berlin, or should they be wrapping up spawn to pick it up?
I think personally, I agree with Haggy. I do think he gave himself timing. Yeah, I know Sib. He did give himself timing for sure. I personally agree with Haggy on this. I feel like the best thing you could do is just get control of B, get control of Trains, and make them have to go all the way around, make them hit long routes, and they're not fooling anybody, man, because you have all the info. You have pushed up Trains. You know where they're going. And the only thing they could do is either wrap back and try and kill you, or they take long routes, and now you just have the point, and you're on their L triggers, and they're coming around. You just have to stay super disciplined if you're gonna play like that.
See, look at number 4 has train control. Number 3's pushed up in their spawn. Look at number 2 again. He's going towards fire. Look like what is this, bro? Look at where number 3 is.
And the
This
thing is
so
too,
fucking
Chris, is while number
unnecessary.
2's going fire, right? if his teammates lose the fights front, now he's fucked. Now he's all the way in fire. He's got to try and flood the point, and it's just not gonna work out.
But it's for me, that's not what it is, Tom. And so he's isolated, right? Imagine he dies over there without any of his teammates, number 2, right? Imagine even if he gets 1 and gets traded, guess what happens? He gets spawn trapped.
Yeah,
because he's not grouped up with his teammates. You're going to see it here. So he's going to spawn there again. He should be flooding with, look where he spawns. Go to your team.
He went
go get
back
trains,
to
number
fire.
1.
He went back to fire.
Look at this.
He did
this
get the
is
kill,
what I'm
though.
saying. He did. But like, there's no fucking point. Go help your team.
Yeah.
It's so fucking.
Well, I mean, Chris. To be fair, too, it is a new map. I think people are also still trying to figure out what the best way to play it is.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's a new map. I think we're gonna start seeing people change up the way they play it a little bit, especially because of so many offensive wins we've been seeing.
Yeah.
And we can kind of see
They did it again. Right? You skip by. They did it again. They've been doing it every life.
Are those fire?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you could see Seattle. You could see Seattle. They're gonna go all the way around. They use their numbers, and they win some fights, and that's just gonna kind of be a mixed fest. They got John pinned in the back of the base, or not John, Temp pinned it all the way to the back. John's trying to make a play in a pinch, and Tom's pushed out Train again when they're stacking a point. Tom, get your ass back. You fucking do something here. He went back to the same spot. Tom went back to the same
That
spot.
might not be Tom's fault though. That might be Paris's like game plan on this map. That might be what they're calling for, right? When they're talking about setup. So,
Oh, he didn't get the kill.
Maybe.
Like Tom individually.
It's like they were trying to do what I talked. They were trying to do what I talked
Trolling.
about.
Mason, they're
But like,
trolling.
not all of them were doing it. It's so weird. Like they were just split, and it ended up causing a split in their like the way they were like stringing along. They're rotation, right? They're like kind of assembly line. They ended up getting split. And that's when they got cut in half, and then they got sandwiched and well, not sandwiched, but they got cut in half and they fled the point. Like that's literally why you don't do that.
Also, how did this guy spawn on Tom, by the way? That was a little weird. Look at that. Number 7 spawned right behind him. We got to talk about that.
That is weird, but I think that is weird, but I think why that happens is
Tom
because
was
like
full.
because of it's almost like a squad spawn thing where they have like pressure on like the hill, so they're gonna spawn closer.
He should be spawning here. Chris.
No,
Back warehouse.
I
He should be
get
spawning
no,
back warehouse,
I
yeah.
agree with you. I agree with you, but I'm saying that's probably what like caused it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but it caused it whatever. The game's broken. You
it's
guys want us to
broken.
analyze.
Yes.
Look, the game's broke. Look at this. Did this guy spawn 2 feet behind Tom, right behind him in the train. Luckily, Tom went inside, so number 7 didn't see him. But number 7 got all the way to the point. Tom was probably like, whoa, where the fuck did this guy come from? He gets in the point. Now Tom's
Listen,
left.
realistically speaking, they got fucking shit on this entire map.
They
I
did.
feel like
They did get
both
shit on.
hard points, they choked massive leads, no? First map,
yeah.
Paris was up
Oh,
220 to 180, and then
Yeah.
the Tuscan hard point, well, I think
This
was a
hard
troll.
point.
I didn't watch it, but I saw
Before we get into the hard point, okay? Before we get into the hard point, let's take a look at the final scoreboard, right? We got Gravity, John, Donnie,
got shit on.
everybody getting pooped on. You got Jimbo 9 and 21 getting pooped on. You got Pred 22 and 14. He played incredible today. Really want to show some love to Pred.
Don't tell me. I think Seattle is the best Berlin control team right now.
That's good
I think they're
gas.
ahead.
That's
I
good
think they're
gas
ahead
for
a lot.
Seattle. It's really good gas. They were ahead in the beginning of the game with Gavin to control.
Yeah, you're right,
and now with a new map, I mean, that's because they're under the Lamar school. They're going to the Lamar school. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you know Lamar. Whenever a new map or whatever, you know Lamar. He's got them.
yeah.
He's making sure they learn that shit as quick as possible. And you can see Pred and Dante doing their thing. Even Lamar and Mac were doing their thing. Good map from them. But let's get into the Tuscan Hardpoint, man. What were you going to say, Chris?
This
Talk
is
to me.
the map that made me sick. For the second half of the map,
Oh, man.
Paris didn't want to win. Paris didn't want to win
not that.
at all. I was fucking mind blown watching this map.
What caught your eye that's making you sick to your stomach?
It was second half of the map. They basically had rotation to 3 different hills. Like basically they had
They could
the
not hold the
opportunity to
rotation.
hold them,
They could.
and they couldn't hold it. They couldn't win the initial engagement. They were putting people in the wrong spots. They were peeking sidelines. They didn't need to peek. They team nated. There was tons of it. You'll see. It's. Dude, I'm mind blown.
All right, well, I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to take a look at some of this stuff. Pat, what did you think about the Tuscan Hardpoint? Anything that caught your eye?
Other than the fact that Paris threw, not really. I mean, I feel like we can go in depth on it, but I mean, I disagree with Chris. I think Paris wanted to win the map. I think they just absolutely threw. I mean, anytime when you have, we talked about it, right? In Vanguard, when you have a lead, I think it was like 80 or so they had, maybe like 70 something. When you have a lead like that, it's basically double in Vanguard. So that's what, like 150 point lead that they have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
and we could go right here. When we look here, I mean, at this point, Seattle's got 6. So going into the second rotation, Paris have a pretty good lead here. They got a
Yes.
40-point lead going into the second rotation. The streaks come down from Lamar. Lamar was able to pick up some streaks. And you could kind of see how Seattle was able to break on into this P1. But it was the second P3 where Seattle just started going rogue, man. They were able to break this. That was a huge break. Good thing Lamar was able to get those streaks. You can see now it's a little bit mixy. Paris is able to get back in there. Paris, they're actually able to hold on some time here. Is a pretty mixy hard point. But let's get into the second P3 where Seattle was able to bring this one back and kind of see what the hell was going wrong for Paris.
You'll see it
right here. Let's take a look at this, man. This P2. Paris need to hold this. They got a guy pushed out front, a guy in the back, a guy in church that just died, and a guy in hill. Let's see what they do here, man. They probably, I think Seattle may have just singled this guy out in the back. Oh, and the guy spawns right there in the back. The guy spawned. Tom just spawned on top of them.
A two-piece by the gods.
He just spawned on top of two guys and got a free two-piece, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's Vanguard though.
How
because
is that
it's
not blocked?
that's Vanguard.
Blocked.
The reason why that wasn't blocked basically is because they have hill control and they're all alive. Like, and so basically he's just gonna. There's no other place for him to spawn.
Yeah,
like in that scenario because in middle
Yeah, there
map.
is.
Yeah, he's supposed to spawn middle there. They're blocking P5 and they're blocking the back.
Back up and free strength right before they spawn. There was plenty of spots he could have spawned.
No, I'm saying in Vanguard, bro. You guys aren't listening when I say like he's not supposed to spawn there. It's just the game. Like it's because of the game. Like they still have hill control and man advantage when he's spawning. So like they are literally just going to spawn in the favorable spawn.
I still
you see what I'm
understand
saying?
how you can't spawn outside church, like back.
Yeah, well, that's where he
because
should spawn.
because his whole team is literally on like right next to each other.
It wouldn't matter. Like
Bro, I'm saying
matter.
I get it. I don't want him to spawn there either. I don't think he should spawn there either, but that's how the game works. They have fucking 4 people alive at the time right when he's spawning,
but I'm
and
saying,
they have hill
the game
pressure.
works. That's still dumb. Like either way, because I understand how the game works, but 5 and 7 should still block that spawn that Tom got.
I mean, I agree with you. They should.
You guys, listen.
How
You
Vanguard
guys,
works,
you
should still block that.
you guys are
Tommy,
agreeing with each
Tommy,
other.
do me a favor. Pause it as soon as he spawns, because I need to see where Seattle was. Because realistically, if
I did. That's what I just did. That's what I just paused it as soon as he spawned. So boom, they're pushing through L wall right now when he spawns. And to be fair, I mean the spawn sucks, but like Chris is saying, this is how the game is, and that back spawn is very sticky.
They're also not staring at him. Like they're not staring at
that's
the sight
no,
line.
that's the thing. They
Let Asim talk. Let Asim talk. Go ahead, Asim.
Listen. If they were just like Dante said in the chat, if they were 2 steps closer and they were looking at the spawn, I would have called that they're spawning middle.
Yes,
but I didn't see exactly where they spawned.
Right. All right.
Where they were.
They didn't get there in time.
Yeah,
They didn't get there in time.
They didn't get there in time.
Although that shouldn't be enough.
I hate you, Chris. I hate what you're
Although
saying,
that
Chris.
should be enough to block it. It's just not with Vanguard sometimes. Like it's just you got to be looking at it directly sometimes, or you have to have man up.
Mm-hmm. And then you can see Paris. They were able to lock down some good time here. That the spawn from Tom gave him a good 2-piece. It gave him a little bump. Seattle, they get the last 15 seconds to scrap. This is where Paris. Yeah, Paris. Why aren't they backing up here? You know, like you can see number 4 is going rogue, number 2 is going rogue. A guy just died P5. Like it's risky. Everybody pushing up like that. You can see number 5 already taking a route and going around. But go ahead, Chris.
Okay, they back up here and then look at what they do with mid, right? For some reason, they just this guy's over peeking mid. He dies, whatever. That's fine. But then look at number 4. Number 4 comes and peeks the same thing. Lamar is, by the way, shitting on them here. He gets a 3-piece. But like, you have no reason to be peeking that. You had rotation. You fucked up. And on top of that, Lamar also shit on the guy.
Yeah, Lamar
initially.
pooped on him.
By the way, beforehand, when Tom Gravity was in the window watching like the green overextension, Lamar literally sprinted through the doorway and killed him. I don't know if you watched.
That's an incredible break though from Seattle.
Initially, Paris is having their ARs in the hill, not the subs. So I don't know what's up with that. They should have had their ARs watching middle instead of the subs.
I just love here. I love the Seattle break here. I love number 5 taking the long route left and getting roof. And then while he's doing that, the others are going mid and right. You know, they're kind of just
not
funneling.
The right on the rotation is a huge problem.
Yeah, because you can't block the right, Asim, because you want people to spawn P1. Right? Is that where you want people to go? You want people to get that field spawn, right where John just spawned. That's a good thing for Seattle. That's where they want him to spawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if that's like how everybody likes to play. But
Paris, like on the rotation of P3, none of them cut right. Like none of them went to roof side to cut it off.
Tom was there. Tom was in the window, head glitching it. And no, I'm telling you, if you look at the minimap, Tom was in the window of that green building, staring at like the doorway, and Sib literally just runs in and shits on him. Like it was bad. You could see from the mini map how bad it was.
So you could kind of see how Seattle was able to lock down some time here. They get the rest of that just from that break. And then Paris get broken again from Seattle. Again.
Look at how they play this. This is another thing where like Tom number one, if you pause it and go back, Tom is an AR player. What he should
not be playing that angle.
He should not be playing that angle. He should be playing the doorway angle and getting the long sideline. And he's either gonna get one and die, or he's gonna feel the pressure coming from more than one player and back up and adjust accordingly. Instead, he plays a shit spot, dies.
Well, he might have had a sub though, because that's a sub angle. But like you're 100% right. If
he should have played it that way. Either way,
you should be playing the door angle.
Play the jiggle. That way you can see if they're coming and then back up accordingly. Don't just play a corner and pray. And then on top of that, remember what I saw FaZe do? Was it yesterday? I can't remember. And I talked about it on this hill. Why are people stacking this right side? Like, what's number 2 doing?
Yeah,
why are you here?
So that's what I was gonna say. Why is number 2 playing right when Tom just died left? He knows he feels the presence left, and then on top of that, they're not playing for any information. He's like number 2 is just staying down. He's got no info at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And Seattle, if John just throws a shimmy over on the right side of the map and he's like nobody's here and people are pushing through left, well they're coming middle and left. They're not coming right.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's too late to the party. He's too late to the fucking party.
But also, Tom, on initial, you can have a guy in the back kind of jiggling it, but you can also have a guy in the hill kind of playing like the cross while the rest of your team stacks the front and left side of the map.
Yeah.
And then you force them to go around the back, and that almost benefits you. Why? Because if you do manage to hold from the hill, which is very easily possible because it's a pretty easy hill to hold from like the inside, not like, especially later in the hill, they flip themselves if they do want to go around and hit the right side and go around the back.
Yeah.
So like you just benefit from them hitting that side and funneling them. They're just stacking the wrong part of the map, and then they butcher it again. And now the game is tied. But here, even now, they have another opportunity to hold the setup, and then look what happens.
Well, it's even like some of the fights that Paris are losing too. I mean, you can look at all the fundamentals and all the plays that Seattle are doing to break, but Seattle are also just winning fights.
But look, this pissed me off. So John throws a nade, right? And he gets team nade by Jimbo. Instead of press pause, please. Instead of buying fucking time for his teammate after he team nades, anybody that has a fucking brain is gonna stay down and either soak up as much fucking time as you can or play the staircase and hold until your teammates can get to you.
They're overchallenged.
He just runs out and dies. Like, just
Pat, what are your thoughts on all this, Pat?
Listen, I just want to say one thing, bro. If you're throwing up a 0.5 in a series, you just gotta stop throwing nades, because like if you team killing and throwing up a 0.5, like that's a horrible look.
Yeah, it's not.
Like you gotta do one or the other,
dude,
bro.
it's not a good look. It's not.
Bro, I've
actually been happy with the way Jimbo's been playing. I think he's been playing really well.
Yeah.
Just today was a really bad day for him. I mean,
that was three holds back to back to back.
Yeah, and we were losing our shit watching this. I think I called it when Paris was up 80. I said they're gonna choke this shit. Seattle's about to bring it back. I called it in the watch party. You could go watch it back. It's just great, good plays from Seattle. And then Paris, again, they locked down some time on a P5. They were able to build a little bit of lead. And then we go into the P1 rotation. It was Seattle who got there early. It starts with number 7, Mr. Mac. He's going to win that fight mid-map. So big one-on-one win from him. Dante's going to pick up middle. And just a really good setup here. Seattle's setting up good. You got 2 guys on hill, a guy picking up mid, and a guy just kind of holding that side of the map, blocking those spawns, right? Pred just kind of sitting back a little bit, making sure the no flips come in. And Paris, man, there's really nothing they can do here. They're kind of funneled. They're going to have to try and break through mid, which they tried to do. More team kills are coming in, by the way. More grenade team kills. They try to break in through mid. The team kill comes in. Dante picks up a couple kills. And at this point, Seattle just have him in a blender. Paris can't go anywhere. I think the best thing they could do to try and break this hill is to try and work through mid, but it just wasn't enough. Seattle was just holding their headies, holding their power positions. And because Seattle had beat them to this rotation, they were able to hold on and win the map and take the series.
They were just playing fried,
your
man.
Your stock tripled for me in this series, bro. It was already high, but the fact that you're playing this close with what's going on, do something different.
It is just so fried, bro. Like, there's just so many times where they need to go and they don't go, and they need to do nothing, and they fucking literally do too much. Like, it's.
Damn.
Lamar had a fantastic map. Lamar broke a couple of those hills by some of the fights he was winning.
Yeah, he brought it back.
Really good plays from Lamar, and Dante popped off too.
Well. I'm glad Seattle played well. Sid played well. Pred played well. Whatever. But dude, this isn't even about.
They played well.
Okay, I'm saying they played well statistically.
They played well statistically, and they were still that close.
They should not have won this series.
I know.
Or they
that's
should
my
not have won
point.
this. They should no. They shouldn't have won this hard point because it would have gone last map. I am fucking appalled that I'm fucking appalled at the decision making that people play when they play the game all day. I don't fucking play the game, and I don't care about this hindsight bullshit. It's just obvious. If you see other teams do it, why the fuck are people making the same mistake?
Yeah,
like you know how to play.
Yeah, but let's not act like. Listen, it's a lot harder to micromanage these things when you're playing, though. Too, you know, that's what makes being a professional Call of Duty player so difficult, is being able to micromanage these things. But that's what's different,
Tom,
Chris, between the top teams and the bottom teams.
I will say that is true when it comes to things like breaking hills and when things are very scrappy. But when you have opportunities to set up, where you have legitimate time to get into setups, to make decisions, and you're fucking doing shit like that, that is unacceptable. That isn't, oh, Call of Duty is so hard, it's a super niche
That's the
game,
difference,
blah, blah,
Chris. That's the
whatever.
difference, bro. It's the difference between
That
the top.
shit is embarrassing, brother.
Well, listen. That's what happens.
What are you gonna do?
That's why the teams at the top are the teams at the top. You know,
you got full 30 seconds to like actually process the situation, and you're telling me that's the best you come up with?
Yeah, and it's consistency, man. And Pret talked about it a little bit in the interview. You know, they're trying to find their consistency, and maybe it's the decision makings, right? Like that's where you get consistent. That's how you become a top team. You have to do these things every single day. So if you slip off and you have brain farts and you black out every once in a while, it's gonna cost you. So Paris not looking too good today. What are you gonna do, Pat? Any final thoughts on a series?
I mean, I still think, Tom, that if Seattle wants to be a contender, they got to make a change.
Okay, well, I don't know. Listen, personally, I don't know what they should do, because clearly they like the roster. So if they like the roster and they have hope in the roster, I mean, I kind of like when teams kind of stick with the roster and try and make it work. You know, like I like when teams like try and get themselves out of the dumps and try and progress
we like
and get
it
better.
until the end, and then when they don't succeed in the end, we're like, damn.
Bro,
Well,
I think
yeah,
I think what Seattle is doing, and I know you think this is dumb, Pat.
It is dumb.
You don't have to tell me this, but I think they're just investing in their core, their core of young players, and they believe in Lamar. And granted, they aren't necessarily producing consistent results. Me and Tom talked about this, how Vanguard is a very fucking frustrating game.
And
like,
dude, hold on,
and
let's be
this
real.
might
You
not
think
be
Modern Warfare 2 is going to be any different?
bro, but we listen, man.
Let's
both
be
know
honest.
that we
Do
don't.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know.
That's an
but-
uncertainty.
We know.
Do
We
I
know.
think so? No, but like, come on.
I said we know. We
Modern
know.
Warfare 19 was equally as competitive as Vanguard. Like, they are one for one pair.
I think
One
Modern Warfare was
5v5.
better. I think Modern Warfare was better than
Warfare was a much
Vanguard.
better game, bro. That shit was way easier to. Bro, I literally could read Modern Warfare like it was the back of my hand. This game, I can read it, but like, goddamn,
shit.
this shit is worse. Like, they
Same
made
shit.
the game worse. Okay, anyways, so we don't go into like a different topic here. So yes, I get it. You think it's stupid, but the sample size for teams that have done it is very low. I think the only team you brought up was the LA Gorillas and MW, with kind of like banking on their young core with like Blast, Vivid, or whatever, back then, and
There's
kind of
been
just
other
letting
teams.
that ride.
That was one example.
There hasn't been as many teams as you think that
Look at
really let
Florida.
it. Okay, but to Florida's credit, they have been improving to a point, but they're
Bro,
not the best.
Look at Minnesota, dude. And this is a good example.
What,
too,
they had a
because-
good year last year.
No. Think about this, though. They picked up Standy, all-star performance in Cold War. But like, COD is so year to year, bro. Like,
Yeah, it
some
is.
players can be absolute superstars one year and not the next year. Like, the game could just be different. Or it could be the same and they wouldn't be as good. Like,
Yeah.
I just think the idea of thinking that long ahead in COD is just such a bad move, because there's no guarantee. It's not like a sport where we're
Yeah.
like, we're playing the exact same thing next year.
True.
Playing the
That
exact
is a
same
good
thing.
point. That's a good point.
You're
It's a
100%
massive
correct.
risk to do that.
You're 100% correct, and I agree with you. But I'm saying the sample size for things that like that have been done is pretty low, and I think that's what they're kind of banking on. I'm not saying that's the right decision. I'm not saying it's going to pay off. I think that's kind of the route they're looking for, and they just believe in the team, and who knows if that's going to pay off? Who knows? Maybe I'm completely bullshitting, and that's not what the case is. But from people that I've talked to on the team that have reached out to me, that's kind of what it seems like is going on.
But on top of that, Chris, I feel like that you're right. There's a lot of those players who are insanely talented, especially in Vanguard. So why not take advantage of that fact while you can and try and win while you can. Why wait? Like, why just say,
No, I get it.
maybe we won't win this year. We'll try next year since our core will develop.
you know,
more.
we were
But why not
talking
just
about
go
this-
I mean,
for the
I
stars?
get it.
We were talking about it a little bit with Clay during the watch party, right? And it's kind of like one of those things where, you know, a team shits the sheets and they're thinking about changing. And then they'll like all of a sudden beat a top team and like, holy shit, we're good as fuck. And then all of a sudden they're losing again. And then they go and beat a top team again. That's what Seattle's going through. You know,
That's what Seattle's going
they'll
through,
beat
yeah.
like a top team and they're like, okay, hold on. We
No,
see,
it's-
we're good.
It's
We're just
frustrating for them too, Tommy. Is that like all year long they
cycle.
are a really good practice team. But like their scrims
That's
go
another
good
thing
for the,
too,
for the most
and
part.
that's
So
stuff
it's
that
like,
we don't see, Jason. We
yeah,
don't
you guys don't see, but like
the everyday
it's-
stuff. You know, like we don't see stuff like
and that's
that.
why I'm saying I can't shit on them if that's their ideology because, bro, I'm not saying the next game is going to be better, but we know this is an inconsistent game to a degree. Like you see in the results of the teams, there's like actually like 1-2 consistent teams, consistent factors in the game, like New York Subliners being the Boston Breach, which we'll talk about soon. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is I can't shit on them for the decision they're making if that's what they want to do, and who knows if that's going to pay out. In my opinion, I like the core three of Mac, Sib, and Pred because as I was saying before, I don't know where they would go if they were to replace any one of them because those were three of the best challenger players at points in their career in challengers. They have the young talent. Lamar obviously is an esteemed leader. Granted, he might not be performing at his best, you know, currently. I
Yeah.
think them believing in the team isn't a bad thing. It might bite them in the ass in the future. It might not, but in my opinion,
will.
there's
It
very
will.
limited things that they can do that will for certain make their entire team
Well,
better.
in my opinion, I feel like this stage is the most important because before we could always say the future is bright, like they'll learn.
Yeah.
But like now they're on the verge of not making champs. So if they
Yeah.
really don't perform well at the stage, then they absolutely have to make a change.
Where are they
Yeah.
at?
They're like 7th or 8th. I think they're 8th.
I think New
like,
York
they're on
is
the
right
cusp.
on their ass, right? Or New York is getting up there now.
I
Yeah,
think New York will improve too. They'll get in.
I think New York will get
think
in
that's
too
one
with the
thing
way
I'm
they're
confident
playing.
in.
But listen,
Yeah.
forget about the Seattle Paris series. We're over that one now. That
You
one's
also got
that one's all done.
Toronto and Rokkr.
That's what I'm
Bro,
saying.
A
Toronto,
lot of
Rokkr on the
teams,
come
bro.
up as well.
A lot of teams.
The 8th spot is fucking
Yeah,
up for grabs.
the A
bro.
spot
It's
is gonna
up
be
for
a
grabs.
grueler, man. It's gonna be exciting to see who's gonna be able to clinch it too. We'll see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the Minnesota Rokkr series and the LA Thieves series, Dylan Attach was gonna join us on the show, but unfortunately has a team dinner, so he sent over a voice message to listen in, and let's see what Attach had to say.
I just want to give a big shout out to the flank. Shout out Tommy, the boss man. Aches, Patty P, Legend, Christopher Duarte, Parasite, Ben if he's on there, everyone that's on the show. I couldn't go on the show, but we're going out to a team dinner. But shout out to all you guys that are watching. Run up the sub train, all the follows, all that good stuff. And you know, I'll be on there sometime at some point. So appreciate all the support. Hopefully we keep on winning for you guys.
Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that. Could you guys hear that?
Yeah, we can hear that.
You heard it? I didn't know if you guys
I
can
heard
hear
it. The stream couldn't.
but basically, he was just showing love, man. He was just turning. I turned it all the way up, Chad. It's on my cell phone. You know, he was doing the best we can here. But Dylan was just showing love to the show. He wishes he could be here. And all I heard was Eli in the background saying "Waggy." I just heard Eli screaming "Waggy" in the background. And yeah, now the voice message disappeared, so I can't even replay it. Sorry if it sounded bad. I don't know. I just put the phone up to the mic, and maybe you guys could hear it, but Dylan said to put it on stream. But let's get into the series, man. We got Gavin 2, Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D, Berlin Control, Berlin Hardpoint, Desert Siege S&D. We got the Los Angeles Thieves going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. Anything on the vetoes, man, that catch your eyes? Hey, listen, guys, I'm sorry you guys couldn't hear, man. Drop a Len in the chat. It's his fault. I don't know what's going on with the production. It's Len's fault.
Honestly, when I
looked
looked at the series, Tom, I was like, Minnesota need to win one or both of the first two maps because I thought if they didn't, the Thieves have been looking really good on control, Berlin, and on top of that, their Berlin HP we know is good. So I thought if they didn't win the first two maps or one of the first two maps, we were gonna have a short series. But hey, man, as we move forward, they proved me wrong. They fried this series.
Yeah, they looked really good. Pat, what were your thoughts on the overall of the series? I thought Minnesota looked good today.
I think they did too. I think they're kind of riding that momentum train right now. Like they got back from the Pro-Am. I think they're now 6-0 in map count in the qualifiers this week or this weekend. But dude, like, what happened to the Thieves?
I mean, the Thieves have always been up and down. You don't know what team you're gonna get from them.
Yeah, but like we saw some life out of them with the Pro-Am, and then we get back, and it's like, where'd they go?
I mean, maybe the online to land thing is getting to their heads. Maybe they think.
I'm gonna keep it a buck though. Like, yeah, the Thieves didn't play good, but there's a reason they didn't play good. That's because Minnesota played fantastic. They fucking fried, bro. Like, did you see the stats from the series?
Yeah, the stats are insane. If you guys want to talk a little bit about that,
it doesn't even matter like what the fuck Thieves were doing. Like, bro, Standy with an AR was playing fucking was disgusting.
Yeah.
Priesta was playing a lot better.
No one really did anything impressive on the Rokkr except for Attach, who we know has been frying. He went at plus 24.
Nah, Preston's been doing his thing. Did his thing today, didn't he?
Preston played good this
Had a
series.
1.0. That was it. Just a 1.0.
Okay, and yeah, what have you seen?
Bro,
no offense to my boy, but like, have you seen this series?
To me, though. But Kenny dropping a neg 21, bro. Kenny is supposed to be Thieves' like superstar. Let's clarify that. Like, he was the one that this team, and when they've made all these shuffles, he's the one they're building around since OGLA. Like, he is that guy. And when are we gonna see the Kenny that we are like used to? Like, is 0.7s every now and then normal Kenny now? Like, that kind of blows my mind. They made the role switch. It was supposed to help, but like, they made the role switch, but they still run 3 ARs in every map. So I don't even think the role switch is more than just a saying.
I mean, they're not playing maps with 2 subs. They haven't played Tuscan, have they?
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck was the point in switching roles if you're just gonna play the same thing?
Yeah.
We don't know about their practice. Maybe these AR maps are still their best maps.
That might be true. That's the fact. They didn't even switch roles then. And if it is still their best maps, well, Kenny's on an AR and he's dropping 0.7s.
I mean, the one thing that I'm looking at for this team, if you were just talking about outright changes and stuff like that, if the role swap isn't helping them, and yeah, I get it. They played good this weekend besides this one match. So like, if this progresses and it continues to be the same old Thieves up and down despite role swaps, my main thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at my bench, bro. I'm looking at Pentagram. Pentagram is a sub machine gun player from Challengers. He's been on this team as a sub for a while now. They've made their changes. They made their role swaps and stuff like that. If it's not working out for him, give this fucking kid a chance, bro. You signed him for a reason. All these teams.
You can just throw him in. I mean, he's literally right there. He's literally right there. Just throw him in a league match to see what he does.
Fucking throw him in.
Yeah.
If you're picking AR maps and these are the maps you're going to play the entire time and this isn't netting you wins, like consistent wins, fucking mix up the map pool. Get an actual submachine gun player into the fucking mix because this is not working out for you in the long term.
You're going to drop Kenny for Pentagram?
Bro, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, but they don't have a second submachine gun player that is consistent.
Well, they don't play any goddamn second SMG maps.
They don't. They actually don't. They play a lot of
playing some SMG maps.
Yeah, but you don't know their practice.
At least see.
You're not.
You're not about practice. I don't care. Their matches, they're losing all the AR maps anyway, so they might as well switch it up and play some sub maps.
Bro, Pat, we know that's not simple. If they're playing scrims and getting ultra mega fried on a map, they're not just be like
ultra mega fried on the AR maps. What's the difference?
I mean, yeah, in this series, but it's not like they did. In the last series,
they beat the Ravens. That team is literally in turmoil.
There's a lot of these.
But they played good at the Pro-Am too. Yes, it's a Pro-Am, but they played good at it. Like what, bro?
But even before the role switch, which didn't change anything because they're still playing AR maps, they were still struggling. They went
my point though,
in Major 2.
Bro, we know this. Listen. Then bro. I'm telling you right now. Yes, they fucked it up for a whole major, but they made the change. They looked good at the next tournament. They came into this weekend because this is only one weekend. We still have a long group stage ahead of us. They won their first match. They got fried a match, and they're not going to win every one or just be the best team or be competitive in every one. Sometimes, like they might have just got fried. Like this could have just been Minnesota being on a hot, like a hot match. Well, and the Thieves had to be on the other end of it.
Well, listen,
I'm not saying.
Let's get into the map a little bit, right? Because now I feel like we're just kind of repeating things. But right here, I mean, this is kind of how Minnesota was able to break down LA Thieves. They started from that P1 to P2 chain, right? They were able to break into that P1 and get us a little bit of time there. They're able to soak up some of that scrap. And then I love the play from Havoc. This whole time, his team is at P1. Look at Havoc the whole time. Sitting boat. Keeping that boat control, even when LA Thieves is in that hill, Havoc knows how important it is to hold this left side of the map and to hold that boat control. And he trusted his teammates to get the break, get some scrap, and then after this P1, once it goes to the P2, now look, because of the play Havoc was making by staying alive boat, now look where LA Thieves is. Now they find themselves in a pummeled. They're in a spawn trap. Havoc's going to open things up with a kill here, and that's going to allow Minnesota to get into this hill and kind of just trap the LA Thieves. Let's tune into the listening. Let's see how they were common, and let's see how Minnesota was able to close out the map.
Cole, play Cole.
Kenny could have won, right?
I'm one top cliff. Hold ring, Eli.
One more clip.
Kenny could have won, right? Kenny's ring.
Low ladder.
He's going. He's doing the ring stairs. The ring stairs.
I needed their side time. Watch out. I needed their side time.
Mid tank, Kenny.
Combo done.
Mid tank.
One more time. I'm playing mid tank.
Oh my god,
Good shot, one shot. And one shot.
There's side steps.
I'm getting a ring.
Yeah,
Side steps.
I'll go left.
He might jump down the cliff.
I'm bringing top cliff. Top cliff,
Yo,
drop
play
one
this
shot.
up, Ivan.
Combo dead, one shot, top right. One shot, top right, and one top left. Top right is one shot.
Top right done.
Kenny's going ring. Kenny's going ring.
Yeah,
He's
we're
gonna
going
be
ring. Mid this time. Mid this time.
I can see the ring cross.
Yo, I can speak for new. We should low-key play this.
I'm
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like
Listen,
that.
he has not crossed ring yet. Yeah, Kenny's ring weak.
Yo, RP5. Draws his RP5.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Do we know where you're at?
Kenny's on ring.
Okay, P5
Kenny's
is on
on
back
ring.
ring and old.
I'm on him.
Hold dead.
Back
Yo,
ring,
back green.
good shit,
Yeah,
hold
he's
on.
front green. You might go short. Top or
Now,
down.
in mid tank. There's two both sides.
Got one.
Nice. Last guy's ult.
I got time. All the way win ring. All the way win ring.
Get time for it. Get time for it.
I'm in engagement.
All right, so you can hear the energy coming out of Minnesota, man. What did you guys think about the comms? I like the comms. I like the energy. I think
Yeah,
they were trusting each other too. I like how Standy was making calls, and they were all. It just seemed like they were all making calls, and they were all stepping up.
They all
And that's
sound
something you
good.
want to see.
And like in the last series that we talked about, and we talked about their listening at the very least, is Colt sounds like he's very vocal on this team. Havoc is showing what he's got, dude. He played pretty good in their last two series, but he's communicating really, really well. And that it's changed the way this team sounds from their last
But let's talk about the Thieves here, right? Because Minnesota, they chain a few hills, they build their lead. But LA Thieves were able to get into that P3 a little bit, get some scrap, and hold spawns for new. LA Thieves can't get broken here on this P4 this easily. They just can't. And let's try to take a look and see how it kind of happened. I don't think Octane should be pushing like that. I don't know where he's going. He's already too late. You're already too late.
Yeah, you can't.
You either have to stay pushed out initially, or if you're too late and you're already in the hill, you have to play tight now. You're too late now. You can't push at them now. So he runs at them. He dies. That's going to open up the gap. You have Kenny and Draza standing in the middle of the map, just standing in the middle of the map. Nobody's even playing tight towards hill. And they all go down. Boom, boom, boom. They all go down. They all just run at them, mid-map and cliff. They all die, and that's going to leave Envoy in the hill, who then he chows. He doesn't even stay down and wait for his teammates to come off spawn. He chows. And just like that, Minnesota break into this hard point. LA Thieves could have took the lead here. They could have took the lead if they played this rotation a little bit better.
This team wasn't playing with enough confidence, and now they're playing with way too much damn confidence.
Yeah, now they're challenging everything.
Like that, all three of them. That was just bonehead moves.
Gavutu simply just a map of who chains hills like first, because usually the hills, at least on this map, there's like two of them that are kind of like adjacent to each other.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's just a long trek from certain hills to the other.
Yeah.
So eventually the team that fucks up first is usually the one that's gonna fucking lose. And that's exactly what you saw here.
Octane right here should go up the ladder and get into the sniper tower and just hold an angle with an AR and shoot lasers like he does. Because you know what
Octane plays like.
Yeah, he was doing it last week. He was doing it last week. Overcomplicating things, man. And then Kenny's stuck in the middle of the map, and they just all die so fast. And then look, LA Thieves come out spawn. They don't even wrap back. They're all getting spawn killed at this point.
Kenny wasn't even a bad spot, but he just for some reason gave up his pre-aim and just kind of like slid out. Like he could have easily held like one of those crosses and got like a freebie on the guy's mid. But
and then we go into the second P5. Gets a little scrappy. LA Thieves are flooding through the front. They're breaking. They're throwing tacks. It's going back and forth. Look at the heads up play from Colt Havoc once again. All right, you can see Havoc. He's early, man. 25 seconds, 30 seconds. I think we were talking about it. Me, Clay, Chris, and Pat, when we were watching it in the TeamSpeak, we were a little confused if maybe he was going too early. But I do like the play. After looking it back, I think Havoc made a fantastic play. I think he made a great decision. He does what he does, man. He cut back. He got P1 control. He cuts back down the stairs, and he picks up that cross. Not only does he have the cross going to P5, but he also has that positioning for new. Once it goes over to that new hard point, kind of gives him a little bit of leeway. He picks up the cross. Minnesota's able to lock down some time. And then as we go into this last P1 here, actually, there was a little bit of a troll here when Minnesota didn't get the time. Remember Minnesota weren't getting the time here? And they probably could have won the game here. Somebody died off hill. I think it was Standy. He overchowed. Number 8 had to come back and get the time. Havoc made the good heads-up play, got the cross. It allowed Minnesota to, be close to winning. They're 3 points away now. They're close to winning the point. Let's kind of see how LATs got broke here. You see the tax flying in for Minnesota. Octane's he's gonna go down. Octane might have been a little weak there. Good tack usage and good patience. And look at Priesta now. Havoc was doing it on the other P1. Now P-Dog's doing it. Being top boat cuts off the whole middle of the map. When you have a teammate top boat, all you got to say is, guys, I have all this. Everybody focus hill, focus front. I have everything. They can't be anywhere else. LA Thieves had to flood the hill. Minnesota have all the information in the world. They use their numbers. They work their trades. They get into this hard point.
How did Sandy gun 2 people like that to break that?
He shit on him. I think he just pooped on him. I think he just pooped on him. I think
He's just shitting, bro.
they're also weak. They're also weak from all the tags flying in. You know, these guys are all tagged. Of all the tags and stuff. Which, you know, maybe if they had a trophy in it, they would have been able to stop it.
A cool thing that you can do from top boat too is if you go on top of the tower. If you go on top of the tower and get on top of like the railing of the tower, you can actually kill players that are head glitching and like watching like over the beach. So that's also another cool thing that people can do.
Yeah, take a look at the final scoreboard. Dylan 27-23. He played incredible today. Standy 29-20. Havoc only won -1, but I think it's important to just realize what Havoc's doing on a map. Forget about his stat line. Just realize how much of an impact he actually is on his roster and the things that Havoc brings to the table. Priesta had a good map. I think P-Dog had a great series today. Then on the other side, it was Draza and Sam who were doing their thing. Kenny and Envoy struggling a little bit, but you know, 2 of the more aggressive players on the Gava too. You know, I don't know why. I agree, Pat. I think they should start playing other maps. I think they should start playing other maps and see what they can do. But unfortunately for them today, they play Gav. And it did not play out for them.
The thing that pisses me off is like they have Envoy, who's been their best player, right? He's an SMG player. Yeah, he's good at Gav, but like their SMG player is their best player right now.
Yeah.
You have Kenny, who is now switching back to a sub role, and we kind of agree if Kenny can like be on his bullshit with a sub, he's gross. So why not? And Draza can do either or. And Draza plays fast, so why not just play sub maps?
Yeah.
Like, or just start to fucking practice the hell out of them so they get better at them. Like,
yeah, well,
I was looking before we get into the next map. I was looking at who they play next. They have a pretty tough road. They have Surge.
And this is Bounty Week,
Breach,
right? That's the Bounty Week. These games.
Surge, Breach, and then Texas. And so they're 1-1 right now, and they have 3 pretty tough games. Like this could be another situation where they're starting in losers. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm worried for this team, man. I'm worried for this team. You know, but we'll see what ends up happening with them. Let's tune into the S&D. First round, LA Thieves come out strong in the defense. They're able to take that. We go into the 1-0 round, and this is where Attach makes a play. 2v2 situation. Bomb gets down in the middle of the map. I'm always going to pick at that site, and check out the cheeky little angle from Attach. Looking through cracks in the wall here, ladies and gentlemen, on Vanguard. Able to pick up a 2-piece snipe with the sniper rifle. Yeah, Isam, I know you didn't watch the matches today. It's pretty good snipe, huh? Pretty good snipe. And then check out the next round. Dylan's putting on a highlight show on that round.
Oh, I saw this, bro.
Then we go into the next round. Envoy gets tucked into a little corner.
This was nasty.
He's going to take down 2 mid-map. Slide on in. Takes down P-Dog. Have a good day.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada boom. Take it. Punch your head. Pins him off the head glitch. Envoy.
Brushing his hair right there, Tom.
Putting on a show. Putting on a show. He gave him a haircut.
We ever seen?
Huh?
That was probably one of the fastest.
That was disgusting. That was disgusting. Really, really good play.
He was brushing his hair at the end, dude.
Did really good plays coming in from Envoy. And then we get into the round with LA Thieves, man. It's a 4v3 situation. They're able to get the pick. And what do? They troll numbers. Draza's going to get picked mid-map. He's challenging mid-map. Octane's going to try and get this bomb down. Standy's going to make a play. And just like that, all of a sudden, LA Thieves break down.
Are they still last in 4v3 scenarios?
I have no idea. I would need easy Mac.
Stat line all year long.
Like, because I don't remember them winning.
They're trolling numbers again. They're trolling numbers. Yeah. You know, but to be fair to Draza, he is on a good head glitch. You know, it is a good heady, but he just can't get picked. You know,
top church is a bad angle.
Yeah, top church bad angle. Yeah, I thought maybe just play for the info, but he challenged. He challenged it, and you know, when you have numbers and the bomb's going down, I mean, you're better off just having somebody go just head glitching a bomb while the plant's going down, and just watch his mid from there. You know, if Draza just gives up mid alley. Rotates back. He could tell number 1. He could tell Octane, hey, pick up mid. I'm going to give it up. Octane just holds the cross, doesn't plant the bomb.
Well, Octane was getting ready to plant the bomb, so it's like, you know, he was trying to watch over him, but...
Right. But if Draza rotates back and just stands behind the bomb, stands behind Octane, and just watches the mid-map cross, he can't be seen from Top Church. He can't be seen from any of this stuff. He forces Minnesota to make the play. You know what I'm saying? They have to run out. They have to make the play. Instead, he gets picked, and that opens up the middle of the map. Standy jumps out in the middle of the map now because Draza got picked, and then they lose their numbers within 5
has
seconds.
Sam always been their bomb carrier?
Yeah, which that is weird too.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think Sam was their bomb carrier.
No, he
Might
wasn't.
have
They
swapped to get
switched.
removed.
It used to be Envoy, remember? Yeah, dude, that's what I said. Like, 'cause
Wait, it shouldn't be Envoy.
Archie's-
Envoy's their player.
I wouldn't give it to Envoy. Definitely not Envoy.
It's got to be draws, bro. It's got to be on draws.
It literally used to be Envoy on this map.
Then I want to go.
Envoy died.
I don't
they were
agree with
chalked
that.
because no one else moved.
Then I want to go to the 2-3 round. I just like the setup here for Minnesota. I like how they got aggressive in the middle of the map. You can kind of see Standy getting in U control and getting onto those god headies. They just spread the map, and I like how they set up here on this defense because they can get all the information in the world. They have everything cut off, so they know exactly where LA Thieves is going, and they got that map control. Just really good plays. Havoc's gonna open things up with a blood. Standy's gonna open things up, and it's a 4v2 situation within 30 seconds. So really good setup for Minnesota. And then we can go into the 2-4 round. This is kind of where Attach went big. Attach was making plays all day. We're definitely going to have to show that 4-piece that he got on Berlin Control. But we could kind of see what Dylan was able to do here. Havoc's going to open things up once again. Top Church getting aggressive through the middle of the map. Look at the bomb right now. You have P-Dog all the way. Look at this round for Minnesota. Look how they played this off the rip. They forgot the bomb. I don't know if they did that on purpose. I don't know what they were doing. But they sent 2 guys towards A side, middle alley, to throw some pre-nades. You can see Preston, he's going to back up and get the bomb. So Minnesota hit a well to B push. What do you guys think about that? Pat, Chris, Asim, you like that? I actually like the play. I love it.
Yeah, no,
I feel like
like
people
it.
Cool play.
I feel like people aren't looking at well off the rip. They're looking at mid alley and you because they think they're going right, you know? And when you hit them with the little well push, and like Thieves tried or Minnesota tried to do it, Envoy ended up shutting them down that one round. But I think right there they executed it perfectly. They bring the bomb back. Preston gets picked a little bit here, but it got a little scary here. Dylan somehow, some way, Dylan was able to make a play here. He gets tagged by Draws. It's a 2v2 situation. LA Thieves were able to salvage it a little bit. Dylan's tagged one shot.
This is a huge round. It would have been 4-3.
Envoy gets caught sprinting.
Yeah, I was about to say, who was
Envoy gets caught sprinting, man. He gets caught sprinting. And then watch this. Dylan dips out, grabs the bomb, and then poops on Draza. 2-piece for Mr. Dylan attached to clutch up the round, man. Clutch up the round.
Dylan is nasty.
And that sums up the S&D for the most part. That sums it up. They went on to win 6-2. It was a really good game from them. We could take a look at the final scoreboard here and see a little bit who was popping off, who was doing their thing. Attached 10-3. I mean, this guy's been doing it for a fucking decade. Really, really good at S&D. Whole team doing their thing. On the other side, you know, people struggling. Everybody negative except for Envoy. I think he had that ace. It was a good highlight, but it just wasn't enough at the end of the day, man. Wasn't enough. Really good job from Minnesota. Their S&D looked good. Looked really good.
Yeah, it always looks good. It's fucking Minnesota,
Yeah,
man.
it's Minnesota. It's fucking Minnesota and shit.
Attach is fucking gross, though. Like, that
He's
was
gross.
disgusting, and he carries it onto this fucking map.
Well, then we get into the Berlin Control, and we get into the first round here. Minnesota trolled this round. Trolled. This was the round where LA Thieves didn't have any lives left. No lives at all. 2 lives to LA Thieves. 5 lives to Minnesota with 15 seconds left to go and 2 takes on B.
What?
Look how Minnesota loses.
Draza goes crazy.
Let's get a team push going here, lads.
Draza goes crazy.
Draza's able to find one on the outskirts. They line up. Envoy makes a play in a pinch. Attach gets single child. They just break down. They just break down.
Just got broken down. Yeah.
I think this is more of Draza and Envoy just making plays than Minnesota kind of trolling. I think Minnesota, you know, they kind of got pooped on. They were sticking. They were moving.
Rushed it. They just rushed it.
They rushed it a little bit. I mean, to be fair, there was 13 seconds left. They could have slowed it down a little bit. Like wait for 7 and 8, right? Like wait for Havoc. Wait for pre stuff. Hold your outskirts. Hold your door. Like wait till everybody's together. Hold your pre aims and then just hit the point together.
It's 2 kills, bro. Like it's literally 2 kills. You can take all the time in the world.
And you could kind of see how they're able to do it, and that's gonna leave P-Dog all by himself here on the point. Draza's gonna get the trade. Now we're left in a 1v1 between Standy and Draza, and with 5 seconds left on the clock, Standy has no play. He has to beeline. He has to get onto the point. And Draza wins the one-on-one, and just like that, LA Thieves were able to clutch up the defense. So good plays there, man. Off the rip of the 1-run round, you have Minnesota going into the defense. They end up closing out the defense. They tied up at 1. Weren't able to cap that B point. But check out the plays from Mr. Dylan Attach off the beginning of this round. He somehow was able to finesse here. I'm actually going to go into a listening here. I'm going to bump up the comms and just watch this highlight from Attach and watch what he was able to do off the rip here.
They're not watching his
He's trying to back him
POV.
off, but
Rokkr just cannot
Still
keep
looks
this
cool.
over the edge as he's wallbanging everything, but nothing comes through. Attach is still going to be here with 2 at the same time. Oh, but coming to back him up as Attach gets 3.
Watch this.
Desperately needing reinforcements as Octane is
Ooh.
Oh my God!
Dylan Attach is breaking them down. You know, it ended up getting them a tick. I think they were able to get 1 tick or maybe close to a tick. Yeah, they got the full tick. They were able to get 1 tick here. But then they ended up collapsing after that. But I think there wasn't any offensive wins until the 2-2 round. It was the overtime round. LA Thieves were able to hold on strong here. They won their defense. Minnesota won their defense. And then going into the overtime round, this is where Minnesota was able to clutch up their offense. So we could kind of take a look and see how they were able to do it. But Pat, any thoughts on the map? Anything that you see here that you want to talk about?
This was just the Attach show, plain and simple, bro. Anybody that drops 47 in a control, it's
47 is different.
On Berlin.
Dude, the fact that he had 40, the fact that he had 47 in control was
This guy dropped
nuts.
the 50 bomb. Like what?
So you can see, Chris, look at LA Thieves here, man. Look at this real quick. I'm going to pause right here. They're doing the Chris Haggesite play, ladies and gentlemen.
This is
They're
fine,
doing
except number 4 is just caught out on the statue,
Wait,
right?
number 4 is going
this guy-
rogue middle.
Yeah, number 4 should not be there. Number 4 should have been in
But
the
it
building,
works for them,
right?
Chris. It works. Look, they end up getting the wave. They get the wave. Minnesota can't do anything.
Number 4 dies here, right? And then look what they do, and then but it breaks down. It ends up breaking down. Like,
Kinda.
but they had the right idea. They just they had a couple people that were kind of isolated. But it ends up working out here, and it buys them a lot of time. But then they end up losing anyways. But I mean, the thing is, when you have one wave, if one wave loses you the hill, like that's how you have to play. You have to play tight for trades, otherwise you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Wait, well, how much was LA up live wise?
LA, they were up a lot. Let me rewind it. Let me see. No, not that much. It was pretty even throughout the way, pretty even. But then as we get to the end, Asen, which I was about to break down right now, check this out. Minnesota, 28 seconds left on the clock. They're on the offense. They have to cap this speed point. They have to get this last tick.
Did they win this?
LA Thieves are stacking. Yeah, they clutch
win
up
this.
here. They win the whole. They 3-0 LA Thieves. LA Thieves doesn't win a map. Four lives to Minnesota. They have no more lives left. Look at how they were able to break down the Los Angeles Thieves setup. All right, it's gonna start with Priesta and Standy. They're gonna somehow get a pick. Where did Priesta get his pick here?
Why are we pinching when they're not on the point yet?
Yeah.
You're talking about Kenny? With Kenny pinching?
3.
Why?
He's going
feel
rogue
like they
too.
should
Kenny's
just be-
going rogue.
I feel like they should just be lamped up and waiting for them to get to them, but like.
What angle is Preston holding right now? Preston's looking through the door. Preston's looking through the door, right?
Yeah,
and he
he's
has like a
looking through
little,
the door, yeah.
and he
We can
found an
probably see
angle.
number-
He can see number 2.
Yeah, he can, and he must have got a really nice shot onto
Wait,
Draza
he
there.
pushes in.
He got a
yeah.
pick. P-Dog got a pick somehow, looking through the crack right there.
Through the little crack of
So
the
good
outer
job by
door.
him. And then after that, then Kenny's trying to make a play in the pinch. He's gonna fall. Attach hits at the stairs. He gets one.
No, bro.
Last
Yeah,
one
LA
is
Thieves doing too
Octane.
much. They're
They
doing
did too much. They overcomplicated it. Man. And then after that, Minnesota. Look at Cole. Wait, look at Cole. Look at Cole Havoc, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what it means to him. Look at this guy. Fuck, and now this guy was screaming at the top of his lungs. He was
Priesta is
screaming.
lagging, bro. He's behind. Look at his whole team. He's
Yeah,
still playing.
yeah.
Shit, bro. Civ is the same way. They gotta
Priesta
fix
is
that.
Yeah,
lagging.
Civ is the
Bro,
same
Civ is literally still in the game, and like on Lamar's screen, he's like looking over to dap him up, and Civ is just like playing straight. They gotta fix that for sure.
And then we get into the last series. Let me just find the timestamp here. Let's go over to the vetoes and see what the fuck was going on. 3-41-12. We got Boston Breach going in against the New York Subliners. We got Tuscan Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D, Gav Control, Berlin Hardpoint, Desert Siege, S&D. Anything to note, gentlemen? Anything to note? Did they get these Did they get these? Oh no, it was a Tuscan Hardpoint. Never mind. What did you guys think about the vetoes?
I think the vetoes just favored fucking New York by far. Like I think the map pool that New York has is just way better. Bro, I said this yesterday. I said this when I was telling you. I was like, this has to be a Nysl series, or they are. It's
no,
over.
you said it. Yeah.
I'm kind of confused though, Chris, because why would because I agree with you, it should have to be a Nysl series, but why would they want Gav Control?
I don't know,
think
but
I
Boston's
gotta see.
good.
I'd have to go back and
I
see the
think
videos.
map
But I think
count
Boston's good at it.
wise, they're good at it. Yeah, map count wise.
okay, we got a couple tweets coming in from NYSL after the dub. Let's tune in and see the tweets.
That's above that.
And let's also check out the other one over here at the top. A special word from Crim6 to close out the weekend. Oh, Jesus.
Of course, man. You know what I'm saying? We the kind of movie stars right now. How you feeling now?
I'm feeling great. I can't see anything right now.
Tej, man. Yo, that sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, that really sucks for you, dude. You know? First, I kick you to the curb. You know, you're feeding off scraps, living in tarp tents. You know, just because of your father, me, said, fuck this guy, right? And then you play against me, and even at our lowest, you still couldn't win, all right? So I will say this, Tej, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, all right? And respectfully speaking, you fucking suck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Crim6 Porter. He's a character, man. Honestly, he's an absolute moron. Fat man in the building. I don't even know what to call that. But yeah, apparently Crim6 has TJ's number. Poor TJ, man. Poor TJ.
It's literally like a fucking WrestleMania video.
Yeah, seriously. But let's get into the Tuscan Hardpoint. Honestly, for this map, again, it was just Paco just doing what he does. I feel like Hydra is literally just gross. He's just always frying. He's always putting up stats. Pat, what do you think about Paco? I know you're always looking at stats. I know you're always watching certain players.
I think he's top 5.
Do you think he's top 5?
I think he's been top 5, to be honest.
I think he's been top 5 too.
Their team was in turmoil, but like he's gross, bro. He's literally gross. Every series, win or loss, fucking no matter who's on his team, he is just frying.
But he doesn't kill horror. Like he's just shitting. He's literally trying to do everything and actually doing it. Like I don't understand.
He's a fun POV to watch for sure. He's definitely a fun POV. Obviously in this game, man, it seemed like New York was just staying ahead of rotation the whole game. We go into the second rotation, and New York was able to build themselves a little bit of a lead. We got to listen in here from the New York subliners. Let's see how they were coming in the middle of the map.
Your bottom, I have your bottom.
I'm watching roof. Yo, they flip, no?
Yo, one mid. Well done. I have mid still. I'm gonna jump up in the fire. No, we're good. There's one in fire.
Alright, I'm watching my back though.
Kismet with the IGL.
Yo, I'm watch out.
Yo, on the chimney.
Yeah, chimney. One more deep left. There's 2.
Deep left.
That's fine.
That's
behind you. Look low.
I know.
Behind you guys. Low. Cap low.
Weak. One shot low.
TJ's not too low as well. He's sitting on middle.
Logan.
Low
Low to well.
Low cap.
He's in mid weak. One shot mid truck. One shot mid truck.
Not close.
I know we get you play line. Get through new.
Cap was here.
Yeah, from fire going ammo box.
Ammo box cap a bullet.
Oh shit.
Alright, listen.
Yeah,
He's pushing tree.
Alright, I'm coming.
Jesus Christ. You can see at the end of that listening, Hydra just off rotation. Popping up too, just gunning him off the edge.
This team is just flowing, bro. You could just tell, bro. Because every map in the series, I felt like they all popped off individually. Like this map, Paul X and Hydra were just tucking. I think the control Porter was like frying, and then on the map 4, I think Kismet was frying. So it's like, bro, you could just tell the teamwork is just like really good.
This had to be a Nysl series, bro. Their respawn is too good.
Yeah,
Boston's respawn has always been kind of whatever. But they're hard, bro. Their hard point, I'll say, I can't say this enough. Their kill efficiency is ridiculous. Like they can be even, and they're like winning like the maps like immensely.
Oh yeah, their teamwork is just
when they start popping off like as a team, like bro, it's not even fucking close.
Yeah.
They're all making high impact like plays.
Boston couldn't hold a hill to save for life for them. They could not hold a hill this map at all. They were just getting broke. They could not get kills. But go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say all those things are true, but I just think New York's a better team than Boston all around. I don't know about you guys, but like players.
You're saying like talent wise. You're saying like okay.
I feel like they just have them beat in every role. There's just. I don't know. I just think New York's a better
what's going on with Boston? Because, you know, the New York is a team at the bottom of the standings. People were saying Boston was a top 4, top 5 team like a month ago.
Well, dude,
you know,
think about this, though. When we were talking about that, Zinni was also playing like a top 3, top 2 AR in the game statistically at the time.
True.
Like, that performance.
Nah, he was putting up some crazy numbers.
I love Zinni, but like that performance is not and was not sustainable. He was overperforming to the point that like he was kind of just carrying them through series. The rest of them were obviously playing well, but like he was definitely a difference maker, and I think that's obviously slowed down. And
once that slows down, then
we
you
kind of see
really
their
the
inconsistencies.
mistakes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for
I don't know.
sure.
I just think New York on a talent level, they're just overall better.
But Boston is just not a respawn team. And I mean, like, you know, we're in a competitive league. That's kind of unacceptable, but you know, like you get what you can get, and that's like the team they form. Like they're just not a respawn team. They're gonna it's gonna get harder for them as the game goes by, because teams are gonna get better. I'm not saying they can't get better, but like teams are gonna get better at respawn. They're gonna get better at guaranteeing those things, and eventually, you know, teams are gonna start catching up in search. And when you can't just rely on one, you can't rely on one game mode to carry you through a series and trying to win control, especially now, by the way, because I mean, granted they didn't play Berlin, but adding a third map to Berlin makes it so people's map pool expands in that game mode. And Berlin is a very fair map where it's not like as simple as get defense, win map.
Yeah.
Where if you're looking at Boston, they can't just rely on like a fluky game mode to carry them through into another search and destroy. Right? They're gonna have to just improve their map pool. They're gonna have to get better at respawn. Otherwise, they're gonna start to fall because they can't rely on search and destroy. When you play a team that's this good at respawn, like you're not gonna win. You're not going to win those respawns.
Listen, New York had a pretty significant lead the whole time. Constant breaks. They were just breaking Boston on every single hill on the first rotation. Going into the last half of the game, Boston brought it back. And you got to think, if they weren't getting broken on all those hills, they probably could win some of this map. You know, you go back and look at some of the hills that they were getting broken on. I mean, they're going to have to go back and look at some of that stuff, because they could have won this map with the way they played the last couple of hills. The last P4, last P5, they were able to bring this map back a little bit. Maybe New York let off the gas pedal a little bit, but New York early rotate to the P1. They end up getting that last little bit of points they needed, and it was a pretty comfortable win. I know on the scoreboard it looks pretty close, but in my opinion, comfortable win. Hides at 35-22. Everybody from New York pulling their weight. Porter 20-26. What are you gonna do? Fat man had a rough one. But Hydra just 35-22, doing what he does. Really good plays. On the other side, TJ only one positive for the Boston breach, so definitely a factor there. Let's head into the map number 2. We get into an S&D on Tuscan. And this one was a back and forth, man. This one was a biter, man. This wasn't a biter. We get into to the 1-0 round. This is where Boston just plays really aggressive through the middle of the map. I like what they do here. I like the aggression from Boston. You see what they did? This guy Capsule jumped out of fire. He jumped out of fire window. That's a ranked play strat. You know what I'm saying? It's a ranked play strat. But I mean, it worked. You know, he jumped out of fire. He finds 2 jumping out of fire. He shoots 2 guys in the back running well, which was also interesting. Did you see what New York did right there? What do you think they were trying to do there? They ran mid and they cut well. Where were they going?
Maybe they're going to make a push into green or something, or maybe just hold from there. But I like what they did. They had number 2, Zinni, watching over Cap. So he goes up there with Cap, and he like shoots down the wooden walls and watches over him as he jumps out, and it pans out for him. It was a good strat. Yeah.
And then we get into the 2-0 round. Boston, they were doing their thing in the S&Ds. Porter with a little bit of a teammate here on Tapaco. It's a 2v4 situation. Yeah, the one you don't want in a 2v4 situation. Paco's trying to make a play through church, and Porter's going to take him out with a grenade. So not really too sure what happened there with Porter. And then this is kind of where Boston, kick up a little bit. New York was able to pick up a round right here. This was a round they were able to win. They just kind of blind counter that A push. This was interesting from Boston. They send everybody A, but they send the bomb B. Or they send the bomb towards well. So I thought that was a little weird. Their whole team gets shut down on the blind counter. Good plays coming in from New York. Nero can't do anything. First round on the board for New York. Then we get into the 3-run round. Nero making a good play here off the rip. He's going to be the lonesome on his B site. New York are going to say, you know what? Forget A. Forget this. You can see Boston. They're playing a blind counter A right now. They're stacked up. But Nero, with the individual play, able to find a big 2-piece. That's going to put him in a 4v2 situation within 30 seconds. So really good plays coming out of Nero Poison. And then this is kind of where New York try and bring this one back, man. What do you think was going on with Boston, man? They go up 4-1. New York were able to bring this one back all the way back to 4-4. So it got a little sketchy here. A little sketchy. I just think there was almost a 1v3 too in the 4-3 round that I could show you guys. Good plays here. Let's take a look at the almost 1v3 that could have pursued. Tony trying to make plays here in the 4-1. Can't get anything going. But yeah, any final thoughts on the S&D? Chris, I know you were saying it's a 2-3-5. They have to win the S&D here. I know New York was trying to make a comeback here. I feel like New York was adapting a little bit as the map went on.
New York was just adapting, and I think Boston kind of started straying away from what was working for them and trying to like mix it up almost to like a detriment, and end up helping New York come back into it. But yeah, I mean, I expected Boston to win the search. S&D for New York has been their weakness. They like at the Pro-Am, right? They won a whole bunch of 6-5s. But then even since they got back from the Pro-Am, it's like their S&Ds, whatever. Their strong suits are going to be their respawns and their hard points. And I kind of just expected Boston to win the map. I didn't really like look too far into it. But once the control came up, that's kind of when I sat up and I'm like, Boston needs to win this map, or it's probably just going to be an auto L. Like,
yep. Look at the play from Hydra here. 4-3 round. New York are trying to tie it up, trying to make the comeback. Paco's going to run right through the middle of the map, right off the rip. Going to flank onto TJ. He's going to hit you, and watch what he does to Nero here. Watch what he does. Turns and burns. Takes down Nero. Really good plays coming out of Paco, doing what he does. Picks up the 2-piece. That's going to bring NYSL tied up at 4. This is probably the biggest round of the map right here. New York bring it all the way back. Let's see how these teams were able to play, or let's see what their decision-making here and what they were doing here. Take a look at the mini-map. Off the rip, it looks like Boston is going to stack over towards that A. They're sending 2A, 1 mid, 1 B. So looking similar. I feel like they had a pretty similar setup, through the other rounds. They had Nero playing over by that B side. Kismet and Krim are just finding kills right off the rip. Instantly going to be a 3v2 situation in favor of the NYSL. And look what they do here, Chris. Do you agree with this play? And Pat and Chris, what do you guys think here? And Asim?
I think they're overthinking it, but I don't
mind
right? It completely.
They get the kills, they get the kills, they do the hard part. Why give it up now? Now they're backing up, and they're giving Boston a chance to clutch
Especially
it.
when you know the guy has a sniper rifle. It's not like it's like two guys with like actual.
And look at what they're doing here. Look at what New York does here. TJ's gonna find one. They have full control. Instead of planning A and just chilling, they rotate back to B. TJ's going to find one crossing to B, and then look at Kismet with the bomb. Where's he going? Where the hell's Kismet going?
It's not the soundest decision making. They had full control of A. They could have stayed there, but even then, like, yo, go plant the bomb, dude. Like, the guy has a fucking sniper rifle. It's not like they have SMGs and ARs. Like, they're gonna play a little bit more passive naturally, just because one of the guys alive has a sniper. Just get the bomb down and make them have to retake. I don't know.
Yeah,
they overthought that.
And then Pat, I saw you watching this in the watch party with me. What did you think of here? What do you think was Krim's best play here? You think he should have just laid down and stuck the bomb, or what?
Yeah, maybe. That's always risky, especially when you're going up against TJ Halley.
Yep, shit situation. I think TJ made a good play showing himself.
Just from a mental standpoint, because if he would have got it off, then he would have been able to talk shit against TJ.
Yeah. But I feel like, the best play would have been to just trying to, like, maybe lay down. I feel like TJ played off the fact that, actually, no, TJ would have killed him. He would have probably just killed him off the bomb. Porter didn't really have a play. TJ played it good.
You can't, like, snake while you're planning, right?
No.
Yeah, so if that was the case, then I think it would have been different. But as soon as TJ saw that like he got off, then
TJ would have had to get smoked to like lose that. So like that round was enough.
Well, if TJ ran away and Porter stuck it, like
yeah, of course.
Take a look at the final
scoreboard. If you were able to like snake the bomb and like fake it, then it would have been one thing. But you're not able to do that anymore.
Yeah, and then we can look at the final scoreboard here. Take a look. Hydra, 3-7, a little bit of a rough one for him. You want to see, he's your superstar. He's the guy who's supposed to be frying, but he's not going to be able to fry every map. So New York, everybody negative. Over at Boston, 9-6 from Nero, 9-4 from TJ. Love that TJ was whipping out the snipe a little bit. Capsule was doing his things. He need a little bit of a rough one, but you know what? They took care of business. They did what they had to do. And then we get into the snoozer, ladies and gentlemen. We get into the Gavitu Control. I know Pat loves Gavitu Control. It's one of his favorite maps, actually. He was telling me.
Absolute best, yeah.
Yeah,
he was telling me. Tattooed on my ass.
Nah, don't do that. What, you gonna get Gav Control tattooed on your ass?
Bro, honestly, the only thing I got from this map was
it was the first offense. That's all it was. It literally, it was the first round. The first round won New York the map. And we could kind of see how they were able to do it. They get the 8-point, whoop de fucking do. Everybody usually gets the 8-point unless they get put in a spawn trap off the rip. You can see New York playing for that ring control. It's going to be Kismet who opens things up by taking that long route right. He's going to find a big 2-piece, and the rest of the guys are going to flood through ring. That's going to get them onto this point. They're going to stack. They're going to get some ticks. And they were able to clutch up here. It started here, too. Kismet with another 2-piece here in the cross. Check this out. Paulie's down. He's trying to stay alive. And Kismet somehow gets his back and finds 2.
I feel like he's getting more and more comfortable. Like every match they play.
He definitely is. I also think Boston needs to just slide behind the point here. They both jump up top. Look, they're morons. Look at these 2 meatheads. Look at these 2 meatheads jumping on top of each other. Look. Look at this. 2 meatheads. Look, Tony and TJ, Dumb and Dumber. Look at them. Boom, boom. What are you doing? Slide across. Get behind it and get this guy off the point. Instead, they jump up on a thing. And just like that, fucking New York win the offense. And that's pretty much all she wrote on the gap control. It was all defense wins from here on out. Nobody can capitalize.
They might just have to get rid of this map now that they got Berlin in. We just go back to the old format where we go Berlin or Tuscan. No bullshit.
And we could take a look. We could take a look here at the final scoreboard. I mean, from New York, 25-18 from Paco, 25-20 from Paulie, 22-15 from Krim, 24-24 from Kismet. They're demolishing them. They're dominating them. Boston can't even hang. They can't even hang. They can't. It's too strong. The New York slang power is just too strong for Boston today.
That's why I was surprised to see this map even get in. I figured they would have played Berlin.
So after that map, I was like, G, bro. Like, they are not winning a hard point versus this team.
They're not. And we get into the hard point, and Boston just wasn't rotating. They legit didn't rotate to a single hill. They couldn't rotate.
Maybe they knew what Chris knew. Like they didn't win map 3. It was GG.
They saw the fucking hard point go. It was like, oh shit.
Maybe. I don't know what the hell was going on, but it just felt like Boston just couldn't rotate. Look, right off the rip, right off the first rotation. I mean, New York just kept beating them to every hill. This is kind of where Boston was able to get some time here and maybe bring some stuff back, bring some time back. But again, just a slang power, just too much for Boston. I thought New York looked comfortable the whole series. Nothing too much to highlight. Final thoughts on the series? Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on the New York and Boston series?
Basically, it's just overall thoughts for Boston is they're gonna have to expand their map pool and actually get better at respawns because, like I said, I mean, granted they played Gavutu Control and it didn't end well for them. That's been a map they've been comfortable on playing, and that map is pretty fucking straightforward. Just get defense, get defense. If they can get defense, they can pull out a win on the map, and then they can continue to hopefully win their S&Ds. And basically, that's how they kind of will squeak by series. I don't think Boston is a terrible team by any means, but I think this is going to get worse and worse for them if they don't start improving their map pool because a team like this is going to expose them.
And I think they got blessed early on. Not blessed, they played well, but the
fact bring this one back.
The fact that they do have as many pro points as they do, or CDL points, they're in a pretty good spot in terms of the standings overall and qualifying for champs. But I don't know. I just think this team is going to slowly regress because I think as other teams get better, they just don't match up with other teams on a talent level, right? And that's bound to happen with the fact that, they were, so to speak, like the leftovers, the last team put together. And so I just see them kind of regressing as other teams get better. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but the fact that they have to be a team that relies on Neslos to win series.
You can't be a team like a 2-3-5 team that just relies on shit. You can't.
But they are in a good spot, right? Because they do have 120 points. They
have time.
The first 2 majors were solid for them. So they have a lot of, leeway, but other teams are going to start being on their tail as the more and more they lose.
You can kind of see just as the map went on, Boston was able to bring this one back. New York, they had a really big lead, and I think it starts here. Going into the second P4 and P5s, this is kind of where Boston was able to lock down a pretty good chunk of time. They just kind of funneled NYSL front trains, and then Capsule just makes a play. He takes the long route. He goes all the way around. Look at this. He takes a super duper route.
Paul's talking smack, by the way. He says they dropped me, shaking my head.
Boston could have had Paul. Let's keep that in mind. But we talked about this in the watch show. That would have meant that there would have been another AR on a team with Zinni, and Zin's not going to let that happen. He's got 3 subs on his roster, a sub on his bench. His coaches and job security, baby. I respect it, Zin. I respect it.
Yo, honestly, man, this year might be the story of the Paul diff, dude. I'm not trying to gas this little man, dude. His head a little too much, but London could have had him, could have kept him. This team could have had him. Both these teams are regressing a little bit. Yeah.
When Tommy retired last year, I was begging for Paul on our team.
This is a Paul diff.
London for the sure.
I was mind blown when Paul didn't get on a team. I was mind blown. I was like, how the fuck did Paul not get on a team?
Tommy, you remember last year when you fucked up your thumb? I asked. I was begging New York to pick up Paul. I wanted Paul.
Yeah. And bro, I don't understand like how Paul could come into Cold War as a rookie and pop off the way he did, and then nobody was interested in him going into Vanguard. I was mind blown that nobody wanted to pick up Paul.
It's because people like didn't look at the London team like at all, like in terms of like anything. Like they almost like writ that team off, and like bro, even their organization did. They've completely invested in a completely new roster. Like no one cared about it. Unfortunately for Paul, Paul was just a odd man out.
Listen, before we talk about all that stuff, look at how this game ended. This guy Kismet just somehow, some way, just pieced him up. You can see he's the last one here for New York. He's gonna find one, then just whoa, poops on Tony. And you see, I think Tony was just. I think he was falling. Like Tony was falling off the rail, and it kind of fucked up his aim a little bit. Tony's been the superstar player for Boston all year. He had a tough one today. He even tweeted it out. I mean, it is what it is.
He didn't even play as bad as Nero played.
I mean, he didn't even play that bad. I don't know why Tony tweeted out like it was his fault. It wasn't even his fucking fault. I mean, he
went 70-81. He had least kills, but I mean, like
he's been
He's just hard on himself.
Tony,
Yeah,
he's hard on himself, and then he was due for a stinky, bro. He was due for a bad series.
He hasn't had one of those in a while.
You know what they say, Tom? The Vanguard cycle will always get you.
It'll get you. It'll catch up to you, man. It'll find you eventually. All right. Let's get into the predictions. Next week is going to be fire, ladies and gentlemen. We got Bounty Week. I don't know if you guys know what Bounty Week is, but basically there's $10,000 on the line every single match. So not only are they playing for CDL points, but they're also playing for a pretty good chunk of cash.
Wait, so I'm confused. On Sunday, is there one match?
Yeah.
Not every single match. No.
What?
It's not every single match. It's every team has one match that's a bounty.
Yeah.
So
it's the same schedule. 3-4-3.
Oh, it is the same schedule.
Yeah, but certain matches are the bounty games.
Yeah, they chose one team or one.
Okay.
Yeah, one match per team.
So
we'll see when that Atlanta plays Optic.
New York's bounty match is Paris.
Yeah, that's free cash for New York.
That's not right.
That's free cash.
That's not right at all. That's not right at all. Okay, so it goes 3-4-3, Pat. Is that how it goes? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Because I have a flight Sunday night. I got a flight.
Oh, where are you flying to, Tom?
I'm going to Aruba, family vacay.
So we doing a flank on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I want to do a flank. We'll probably get through it.
You're West Coast.
I booked a red eye, so we could do the flank. I booked the Sunday night red eye. Well, see, the thing is, man, is the dog passed away. Jake passed away, and my mom.
Yeah, don't get on his ass. No.
Well, come on, let me finish here. Okay, the dog passed away, and when my mom was saying how we haven't had a family vacation in a decade. You know, my father's in Italy. We never have family vacations. We never get together as a family. So they already booked their flights to Aruba. They were going there like, yeah, we know you got to work. You know, got to do the flank, this and that. And I said, I can make an appearance, so I'm going to fly Sunday night, red eye, and then I'm staying for like 3 days, and then I'm flying back right before like Thursday or Friday, so I can get back for the shows. So we're not going to miss any flanks. I'm going to make sure we got all the flanks, situated, and we got them all, taken care of. But yeah, I think it is nice to just get a little getaway with the family because
I hope you enjoyed that. R.I.P. Jake.
Yeah, R.I.P. Jake, man. He's a good doggy, man.
I linked you the schedule, Tom, so it has all the games.
So this Atlanta Texas match is the last match, right? This 4:30 match.
Yeah, that's Sunday.
Okay, well, let's
link you the schedule that shows like all the first Friday games.
Let's go and talk a little bit about and give our predictions for the Friday matches, and then we'll call it, man. We got London versus Boston, Toronto versus Minnesota, and LA Gorillas versus the Florida Mutineers. Who do you guys think is gonna win? I got Boston, Minnesota. Actually, I think Minnesota is gonna beat Toronto tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, Friday, excuse me.
Minnesota looked way better.
Yeah, they looked fantastic today. They looked fantastic the last couple of days. I was actually talking to Dylan last night, and they're feeling pretty good. And then we got the LA Gorillas going up against Florida, which personally, I don't know what to do there. Because, Asim, you guys have been struggling the last couple of weeks. No offense. You guys are in a slump right now.
It's not an offense. It's a fact.
It's a fact. And then Florida's been like up and down, too. They kicked it up, Florida, recently. But you know how up and down they are. I don't really know how to call this match. I'll go with the Florida Mutineers. I'll motivate Asim a little bit.
I mean, every time you predict against us, we win.
You win. Yeah. Every time.
Hopefully I don't jinx anyone, but I'm going to go with the bounce back boys. We're going to get Boston with the bounce back, Minnesota with the bounce back, and we're going to get the Gorillas with the bounce back. Those are my predictions.
Pat, who you got?
I'm going London, Toronto, and Florida.
Damn.
Hasten, what about you? Who you got?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
Pat's rooting against me jinxing every team because he just voted the opposite of me for every match.
No, I'm high on Toronto. I think they're stepping it up. I think it'll be a good game against Minnesota, but I think Toronto's going to pull it out. The LAG, I mean, look, just people say this all the time, bro. I can't buy a fallen knife, and right now, LA Gorilla, or I can't catch a fallen knife, and right now the Gorillas are falling steep. 0-5 in their last games.
Damn.
We're just gonna have to wait until they turn around. But for now, I'm just gonna go Florida. Hopefully, Dave can kick it up with the engagements, and I think London's due for a win, a good win. And Boston, like I said, there to me, if they don't Nysl, they don't win. So I think London's a pretty solid S&D team with Harry, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I think so. There's some confusion in the chat because somebody said, "Are these the only matches next weekend?" These are not the only matches next weekend, correct? There are more matches. There's two more. There's two more on Saturday. Two more on Saturday, and there's two more on Sunday that are just not being shown.
3 more on Sunday.
3 more. Oh, there's 4 matches on Sunday.
Is there not 4 matches Sunday? Or Sunday's 4?
3-4-3.
Oh, it's 3.
I was gonna say,
okay,
if there's 4 matches, I might not be able to do that
I thought it was
day.
3-4-4, bro. I don't know. I don't remember.
But it is.
How many games were there today? It was 3.
Bro, I blacked out half the matches when I lost composure. I forgot Paris played today. You just reminded me.
You know what we'll do? You know what we'll do on that Sunday? I think, depending on some of the other series, because I don't know when I'm going to have to call it, because I don't know how long these matches are going to go. I don't know. I'm going to have to leave for my flight, but it is a late night red eye, so I should be good. But just in case, we're definitely going to focus on that Atlanta Optic match. We're going to if we're going to do the
Aruba considered international, or is that in America?
No, it's international. I'm pretty sure.
So
well,
yeah,
no, well, I think Well, how does Aruba's a weird one? Aruba's Aruba's international. Aruba's international.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Mama Zoom in the chat said yes. Mama Zoom in the chat said yes. And I'm excited. I'm very, very excited to get a little bit of a break because I've been going at it for a while now.
Yeah, you need a break, man.
I've been getting cooked. I've been getting roasted by the friends and family.
Post up on the beach and shit.
Yeah, you need to be on the beach with your white beer, sipping some Mai Tais.
Some pina colada or something.
But I'll be back though. When I'm missing
already
it.
halfway there, bro. Have you seen his attire last couple days?
Come on, what's wrong with you? I've been wearing fucking these fucking white tees every day. I got so many of them. I just wear these. It's hot over here. And I can't wait to see you too, Mama. I love you. I'm a mama's boy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but I am. I'm a mama's boy.
No shame in that, bro. No shame in that,
I'm a
bro.
big
Love
mama's boy, man. Shout out to all the amazing moms out there. But I'm excited to see you too, Mom. So see you soon. But guys, that's gonna do it for us, man. Got some matches going on.
Blow it up bowl was a good day,
bro. Donnie's a clown.
Those 2 blow it up
Bro,
balls.
Donnie texted me, said, "Yo, let's start the GoFundMe so we can get Jimbo over here. We could get Jimbo a fucking apartment or something." He said, "Bro, let's start the GoFundMe for these fucking guys."
I feel bad for them, bro.
Yeah,
the Paris org is like just a kiss of death.
Yeah, he's fucking. What are you gonna do? Listen, guys, we're out of here, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Go to anchor.fm/theflank. Check out all the audio sites that we're on, and go follow @theflank on Twitter, man. Gert's doing a phenomenal job, so go follow the Flank. And as always, guys, we really appreciate all the love, man. You guys have been coming in crazy. A lot of love, a lot of support, and we really do appreciate you guys, man. So thank you guys for tuning in this weekend, and have a good week. Have a good week, man. Love you guys. Peace out. Take care, bro. Yeah.
Have a good fucking day.
Peace out, man.
Peace.